The trade-in, trade-up event at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. Up to $12,500 off select new 18 Silverado Crew Cab LTs. Up to $6,000 off select new 18 Colorado ZR2s. Trade-in, trade-up in Waukee. Up to 19% off. Or choose $500 plus 0% for 72 months on new 19 Chevy Equinox LTs. Over 20% off. Or get $1,000 plus 0% for 72 on new 18 Chevy Trax. Trade-in, trade-up at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. Chevy, find new roads. WaukeeChevy.com.
For the ultimate one-of-a-kind game day experience, make a stop at The Other Place. The game is on and drinks are cold with game day specials for every fan. Serving Iowa's best pizza since 1970, it's the place for the whole family. With a mouth-watering menu and state-of-the-art audio-video system, make the OP one of the most exciting destinations for sporting events viewing. The Other Place, American Sports Grill and Pizzeria. Join in on this Iowa tradition, serving the Midwest since 1970.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Is this guy a contractor who does good work or a contractor who needs work? For a reliable recommendation, trust the Better Business Bureau, protecting consumers for over a century. When you go to bbb.org to check out a business, you'll learn if it's BBB accredited, see its grade on customer service, and read honest, useful reviews from local people. For online recommendations you can trust, start with trust at bbb.org/Iowa.
It's time now for Waukee High School football on the Central Iowa Sports Network. CISN.TV is Iowa's premier source for live-streamed high school football. The football on CISN.TV is brought to you by Atlantic Bottlers, Schottenkirk Chevrolet, Shields, the Better Business Bureau, G&L Clothing. Now let's go to our CISN.TV team for Waukee Warrior football.
Good evening and welcome to Waukee High School, Waukee Stadium, as it's playoff football on CISN.TV. Dar Danielson, Laura Leonard with you here, and last week a nail-biter, Laura. Kate Jaden's foot gives Waukee this home game to start out the playoffs, and they're looking to make the most of it and keep that momentum going here against this Urbandale team tonight.
Well, I think they got a little taste of the playoffs last week in that game against Johnston and able to pull out the victory with the 44-yard field goal from Cade Jaden to win that ball game and put him in this position.
Well, the Jayhawks, they come in at 6-3. They're seeded 12th. Waukee at 7-2, seeded 6th. Urbandale had to overcome the loss of a quarterback early and one of their good running back linebackers early on, and a team that doesn't have big depth, but they've been able to overcome that and get into the playoffs and go on the road here tonight looking for the upset.
You know, and a lot of times, especially in football, you're always looking for the next man in. You have to be ready, and those kids that have filled those positions have responded and gotten them into the playoffs.
52 and cloudy, calm winds here tonight. The forecast brought to you by Shields, one of our sponsors this evening, and we appreciate you joining in on the first ever broadcast of high school football playoffs here on CISN.TV. Waukee won the toss and deferred. They'll give Jaden the chance to use the foot right away to boot it down there, and he'll be looking to kick it into the end zone and avoid the return by Urbandale as we're set to get things underway here. Here's the boot, a short one, bounces, picked up at the 20. Looking for room, going lateral, now cuts back and decides to cut his losses while he can. Brooke Heinen, and probably a smart move there.
Yeah, they had it well covered and a planned kick right from the beginning, just that little squib kick, hoping to get that bounce, maybe glance off of an Urbandale player, and they would be able to pick it up and have the ball in their possession. But Urbandale covered it up, and smart move to just get down. Not poor field position to start with, but at the 20.
Urbandale will come out. Ty Langenberg, the junior who stepped in after the injury to J.D. Colby. He'll be the quarterback tonight for the Jayhawks. They're in white on the left of your screen. Waukee in the dark uniforms. Send the slot in motion. Hands it off. He's looking to throw. Throws it downfield. Caught at the 40, 45, 50. Will Pattison got a lot of room. Cuts it out 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Urbandale. They go with the flea flicker early and they score.
What a surprise and what a turn of events. You trying to settle in to play defense, and Urbandale hands it off, and they get the nice, it looked like a sweep. It was what it was going to be, and then they just stop and throw the long pass downfield, and what a cut across the field to avoid the defender as well.
And we didn't even get a chance to talk about their offense, but Will Pattison, the big 6'2", 205-pound senior, as Alex Economos will look for the extra point here. And that one is blocked. It'll be caught in the end zone as it's blocked, so the P18 blocked, and it'll be those 6-0 Urbandale here against Waukee. We'll take a break, come back with the kickoff after this on CISN.TV.
For the ultimate one-of-a-kind game day experience, make a stop at the other place. The game is on and drinks are cold with game day specials for every fan. Serving Iowa's best pizza since 1970, it's the place for the whole family. With a mouth-watering menu and state-of-the-art audio-video system, make the OP one of the most exciting destinations for sporting events viewing. The other place, American Sports Grill and Pizzeria. Join in on this Iowa tradition, serving the Midwest since 1970.
Back here at Waukee, and before the home fans even got a chance to get in their seats, Laura, they're stunned as Urbandale goes to the big play. And we were going to say we didn't get all our pregame in, but I'm going to say Urbandale wants to get out. One of the keys to the game for them is to get out early and not get behind in this game, and that's what they've done here right away.
Well, threw a little trickery at that Waukee defense right away, and it caught him off guard. Able to capitalize on that, and just want to mention that block kick. That was the first time that
onside, and Waukee gets on it.
Now they're pulling out all the stops. Finish my thought. That was the first miss of the season for Alex Economos. He had that one blocked, but trying to do the onside kick, and they had him fooled just for a second. I think he kicked it a little too hard. They couldn't get down there to recover.
So we've seen Urbandale. They pushed it all in. They got in, maybe got into the playoffs. You know, it's a 6-3 team, but they're going to go for it here against Waukee. And now it's Mitch Randall comes out with Alex Lindquist, sends in motion, hands it off, and up the right side with it is Zach Eaton, I believe. Yep, Eaton.
Well, the danger of trying to do that onside kick, you do give Waukee great field position to start, and they're just going to try to motor down the field and get it to Zach Eaton on the sweep.
Yeah, if it's successful, you're okay, but if it isn't, you put pressure on the defense. Mitch Randall throws it out wide, has a man, and looking for running room over there, and he'll make his way up close to the first down. Jalen Martinez with the catch.
And they're going quick, and they're mixing things up, run and pass, and that's what this Waukee offense can do. They've got a lot of weapons, and they'll show you a lot of different looks.
Mitch Randall under center. Sends a man in motion. That's Blake Espelin. Now drops back, throws it deep toward the end zone and just over the head of the intended receiver down there. Sam Odell. And I don't know about you, but I cannot see those numbers hardly at all on the Waukee players.
No.
Those uniforms, as they get under the lights, they got kind of the darkish tops, the purple letters, but incomplete pass brings up 2nd and 10 at the 36 for Waukee. They're trailing 6-0 here as Urbandale throws a bomb off the flea flicker on the first play from scrimmage. And here's Randall. Keeps it himself up the middle, finds a little running room there, not much, couple yards for Mitch Randall.
Well, and that's what Randall does so well. Reads the defense. He had it in the gut, and I'm not sure, again, I can't see the numbers, but pulled it back and ran it right up the middle. Got to get out the binoculars.
Down, 8 yards to go for the Warriors. From the Urbandale 34.
3rd and 8. at the 34. There's a handoff up the middle, spinning, and he's not going to get the first down, I don't believe. Lindquist on the run. So that'll bring up 4th down and 5, and this may be 4-down territory here.
We've seen Waukee do this before. When you get in this portion of the field, a lot of times you see them go up for it on 4th down.
Here would be about a 49-yard field goal. Randall rolling to his right, throws it upfield as a man up across the first down yardage down to about the 21-yard line.
Zach Eaton out there ran a nice route as Randall rolls out to his right, and it's Eaton in stride.
And Eaton had a big game last week, really a couple big plays to keep Waukee in this. They send trips to the left now for Mitch Randall.
Yeah, he had 5 receptions for 99 yards last week.
Fakes the handoff, rolls left, throws it across and a little high off the hands there of Odell. And brings up 2nd down.
I like the tempo of this game. Both these teams
Yeah, they're
really
going really quick. And this Urbandale defense, they had to know they were going to try the onside kick probably, so they knew they'd have to come out and go at it so far here. Backs to the wall. There's a fake the handoff. Randall keeps it himself, spins around down inside the 15.
Couple of players had a chance to bring him down, but he just keeps the feet moving. The spin move gains him a couple extra yards.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 4 at the 15.
3rd down, 4 yards to go from the Jayhawks 15.
Randall gives the handoff over the left side, looking to turn outside, get some more, and he does. Inside the 10, down to the 7-yard line is Lindquist, I believe. Taking the handoff.
I think it was Zach Eaton.
Or was that Eaton? Yep, you're right. Zach Eaton on the inside. That's one thing we'll see out of both of these teams. Urbandale will have used those slot receivers and move them in and around, and Waukee's going to do that a lot too. 1st and goal at the 7 for Waukee. Randall keeps it himself, running to the left side, gets hit, and is pulled down after a pickup of a couple.
Gabriel Hoyt led the stop, number 11.
Well, we'll give him 4 on that, all the way down to the 3.
Yeah, good blocking up front by that big offensive line.
Goal to go from the
2nd and goal at the 3. A tighter formation for Waukee. Randall hands it off. Lindquist looking to get outside. He can't turn it. He's stripped up out there
Alex Lindquist, the ball carrier,
by Cale Bathke.
That was a touchdown-saving tackle. They were trying to string it out as long as they could. He went for the ankles and was able to knock him down.
Cale Bathke now 3rd down and 4 for Waukee. Randall takes the snap, rolls to his left, throws to the end zone, caught, touchdown, Waukee.
Sam Odell.
4-yard touchdown pass.
Well, you give them the good field position. They're able to march down the field, and just a mix of plays, runs, and passes, and they cap it off with a nice little rollout to the left and a 4-yard pass to Odell.
And here's the most popular man in Waukee last week, Cade Jaden, to come out to try to give them the lead. Kick is up. The kick is good. He's perfect on the season for PATs, and that makes it 7-6 Waukee over Urbandale. Hang on. Looks like we got a good one going on already here. We'll take a break. Be back with a kickoff after this on CISN.TV.
There's no doubt about it. Saving feels great. At Mid-American Energy, we love saving too. Saving the environment by supporting tree planting, which improves air quality. Saving money by investing in wind energy, which keeps rates low. And saving you energy by providing tips to help make your home more energy efficient. Which means you can take those savings and put your energy into having fun. Saving definitely feels great. So does being obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Jaden to kick off, number 3 for the Warriors.
And Waukee will kick it off now after scoring and taking the lead back. Economos back deep to receive. And also Harrison Whaley, yep, back to receive for the Jayhawks. As Waukee, a 57-yard drive after the onside kick was recovered by them at their own 43. This one is going to bounce out of bounds.
Kickoff bounces out of bounds.
And, Laura, I think there's a little nerves and adrenaline out there right now in this playoff game, don't you?
A little of both going on, and you can just tell in the up-tempo style of play, the way they're hitting down there, the way they're moving around, and everything's on the line. Urbandale gets in with a 6-3 record. They have to go on the road to play. Big win for Waukee to get themselves a home game last weekend, and so a lot of emotions running high right now.
So the Jayhawks will come out on their second possession. The first one, they went one play, 80 yards, as they sent it out to the running back. He pulled up and hit Will Pattison, and Pattison went 80 yards with it. Here's Ty Langenberg. Fakes the inside handoff, looks deep, going to Pattison again. Got him at the 40, 35, down to the 32-yard line.
Urbandale has seen something in the game film because they're going deep and they're going to Pattison. He's a big kid, and so they know that if they can get some room out there and get him out in space, they're going to be able to get him the football. 1st and 10
at the 33. That was a 32-yard pickup there on the pass. Ty Langenberg brings him out again. He's got two backs each side, sends Economos in motion, fakes it to Economos, gives it to the other back, coming back the other way. Whaley gets waylaid after getting about a yard. And
they did a good job defensively, stuffing all the holes. Didn't let him have any kind of daylight.
I guess keeping it on the ground once just to keep him honest here.
You got to keep him honest.
Is it? Two passes, one 80 yards and one 32 yards to Pattison, but here comes Urbandale again. Langenberg, he's got Whaley with him right to his left. Two receivers to each side. Hands off to Whaley. Whaley is tackled right there before he could go anywhere. I think Cole Spikesma might have been in there. Zach Eaton.
Yeah, right there. I mean, he just was in the backfield right away and was able to. He was almost there at the same time the handoff happened.
They lose one. So big third down here for Urbandale, but then again, it may be 4-down territory for them too. As he sends three receivers to the left, one to the right. Whaley the back in there with Langenberg. Dropping back, looking, throws it across, has a man inside the 20, going 15, 10, 5, knocked out of bounds on the far side.
That's Economos, and he was just in the flat. A little touch pass over the top of the defense, and there's nobody around him.
They sent everybody deep, and they got to respect that after what's happened here. And you're right, he just kind of set up in the flat, and they hit him, and he's all the way down to the 4-yard line. 1st and goal at the 4 for Urbandale. As the Jayhawks now on the move once again.
1st and goal from the Waukee 4.
And here comes Langenberg. He's got Pattison wide to the right there. He'll hand it off. Whaley cuts into the middle. Did he get there? He dove for the goal line. They're going to mark him just short. Harrison Whaley almost looked like he had the stretch there, but just shy of the goal line.
And he was just picking his way through the middle, ducked his head to try to get underneath the defenders and stretch out and get it, but he's just right at the goal line.
2nd and goal at the 1 for Urbandale. 5:44 to play here in the first quarter, and what's been a wild first quarter so far. Whaley in behind Langenberg. He'll sneak it himself, gets in there, but the defensive line got a big push off that initial push of the offense.
I don't think he got a great push or a good spot, or not a spot, but Langenberg didn't get a good push himself. He didn't get his feet set. to give him that good push over the top.
Saw
of
the white
offensive
shirts
line.
come up, and then the black shirts just pushed him right back, and he loses a yard. So that one goes to the front line of the defense there for Waukee. Caleb Paulus, Jacob Martin, Connor Arndt, and Alex Wiggins in there. So big third down here again for Urbandale. 3rd and goal at the 1. But again, it may be 4-down territory. We'll see. Sends Pattison to the right, 1 receiver to the left. Whaley in there. High snap over the head. And a nice bounce back to Langenberg. He throws to the end zone and incomplete. And what presence of mind by him to get that ball and get rid of it.
Boy, he got a nice hop right back to him, and when he was able to turn around and see what was going on in front of him, he knew he needed to throw it away and did a great job of getting that ball into the end zone where nobody was.
And maybe because they're so close to the goal line, sometimes you get a lineman downfield or a bad pass somehow penalty that way, but since they're right there and didn't make a push, now brings up a big 4th and 1 here. Let's see. It looks like Urbandale's going to go for it. Can the Waukee defense hold? Can Urbandale go ahead? Here's the snap. Option down the line. Pitch back to Whaley. Can he turn the corner? He does. Touchdown, Urbandale.
You could see that as they set up, and Whaley was just trailing him. And as soon as he got the defender to bite and suck in, he pitched it out. And what a great move by Whaley to get around the second defender to get into the end zone.
So, great call there, too. Everybody's bunched up after they kind of ran in the middle, but they strung it out, and then Whaley just able to read it there. Economos now in to attempt the kick here. And the first one was blocked. Let's see if they got that taken care of. There's the snap. Kick is high and booms through there, but, man, he kicked that as high as the top of the goalpost. Which doesn't matter. It counts as a point anyway. So the PAT is good. It's 13-7 Urbandale. Back with the kickoff after this on CISN.TV.
The trade-in, trade-up event at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. Up to 12.5 off select new 18 Silverado Crew Cab LTs. Up to 6,000 off select new 18 Colorado ZR2s. Trade-in, trade-up in Waukee. Up to 19% off. Or choose $500 plus 0% for 72 months on new 19 Chevy Equinox LTs. Over 20% off. Or get $1,000 plus 0% for 72 on new 18 Chevy Trax. Trade-in, trade-up at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. Chevy, find new roads. WaukeeChevy.com.
Back here at Waukee, we're just trying to get our breath here. Dar Daniels, Laura Leonard, and here's the kickoff from Urbandale. This time it goes fairly deep, up to the 25, 30, and pulled down up at the 33. Antoine Watson, so really good field position again for Waukee to start it out, but man, you got to credit Urbandale, Laura. They're coming out slugging, and they're going to, hey, I don't care if we're the lower seed, the lower in the RPI, we're going to come out, and we're going to go at it here.
Well, they really are, and they're playing with a lot of confidence, and they're playing very relaxed, it looks like. It looks like they got some of the jitters out of their system and just playing very relaxed.
Randall takes it over the right side and gets good yardage on the first down. Thanks to all of our sponsors here tonight for playoff football. Mid-American Energy, our 100% renewable vision. The other place serving the best pizza since 1970. Here's Randall. Fakes a handoff. Rolls. Oh, had the man behind, and he catches it. And, Laura, he had the comeback route, but if he still goes on that go route, he probably gets a touchdown on that. That's Sam Odell on the catch.
Yeah, he came back a few steps, but he was behind the defender, and he had nothing but green after that.
First and 10 at the 49, a pickup of 16 as Waukee now into Urbandale territory. They're trailing 13-7. Fake by Randall, rolling right. Throws it out there, and it's a little low as he tried to pick it off the turf but couldn't get to it. Intended for Eaton.
Now they're looking for Eaton a lot, and he was wide open, just a little underthrown.
He had the mid-level guy there, too, look like open, so he had a couple choices, decided to go deep on that one. And it'll bring up 2nd down and 10 at the 48 for the Warriors. Trailing here with just under 4 minutes to play. Randall spins around and is pulled down. Can't get out of the tackle.
Tackle by Augustin Takpa, number 10.
Great play by Takpa, getting into the backfield and only giving up a yard.
So 3rd down and 9 at the 47 for Waukee. Twins to each side for Mitch Randall. Fakes the handoff, now rolls out. Nobody went with him. He's got a lot of room. He's going to get the 1st down on plenty more, and he'll just cruise out of bounds over at about the 30-yard line. So that play action fake, that time everybody bit and went with it.
And Riley Longlet was in the backfield, forced him out to the outside, but then the defense didn't shift back over, and he had nothing but daylight.
And we know he's got speed. If you give him plenty of room to get that corner, he's going to turn the burners on. 1st and 10 at their own at the Urbandale 31. This time he rolls, looking, now pulls it down, still going, 25, and they'll slide down at the 24-yard line.
He rolls out left, and everybody's covered up.
He really wanted to uncork that one, didn't he? But
yeah,
he just held it and was smart.
Well, you don't want to take any chances. No. You don't want to throw a pick. You're down in close to the goal line or close to scoring, and you don't want to give up anything. You don't want to make a mistake in a playoff game.
2nd and 3 at the 24 of Urbandale. Waukee trying to answer the Urbandale scores. They lead 13-7 here. Fake the handoff. Randall looking across the middle there, gets out of the tackle, keeps it himself, now goes up ahead, and he's going to be close to the 1st down on the keeper. See where they mark him.
Tackle for Urbandale by Jackson Rudo, number 47.
And they're going to give him the 1st down on that, so he picked up enough.
The result of the play is a Waukee.
Picked up, he needed 3, he got 3. 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line for Waukee.
And Longlet was in there again, harassing him, forcing him out of the pocket.
And handoff this time right up the middle, plowing in there, Lindquist.
Running back Alex Lindquist, number 49 on the carry.
And they change it up a little bit after pass. And a good pickup by Lindquist. 5 yards on the carry, down to the 16. Randall's got 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Fakes that back, rolling. Has a man wide open, end zone, touchdown, Waukee.
Boy, nobody around. Was that Lofsgaard in there? I can't tell with those.
Sam Odell.
16-yard
touchdown. Odell's 2nd touchdown catch. With 1:51 to play.
Boy, he got behind all the defenders. The closest person to him was Gabriel Hoyt, and he was a good 3 yards away.
Jaden with the kick, and the kick is good.
And the extra point is good by Jaden.
And it's 14-13. Waukee goes back up. Kate Jaden now 41-41 on the PATs. 1:51 to play in the 1st quarter. We'll take a break and come back with a kickoff after this on CISN.TV.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Back here at Waukee, Dar Danielson, Laura Leonard. We have not even had a chance to catch our breath in this one. As Urbandale went down the field in one play, scored a touchdown. Waukee came back, scored. Urbandale's come back and scored while Waukee scored, and Waukee will kick off again.
And be prepared. We've seen onside kicks. We've seen squib kicks. Who knows what we'll get this time.
There's a squibber. Catch by Urbandale, but they get back on it. And that was
Augustine Tokpa, number 10, covers that kick.
Tokpa. Augustine Topka got on it. And here again, Laura, they're getting great field position, both these teams here.
Well, they and I don't know if it was by design or not, but it was kicked hard enough on the ground that it did glance off of Tokpa, but he was able to recover it. So that does give Urbandale great position here at their own 44.
Here's Langenberg. Backs aside him. Economos in motion. Fakes it to Economos. Gives it to Whaley, and he's finding no room inside. Maybe gets a yard.
Several Warriors in on that tackle.
He was lucky to stick his nose in between two linemen and get that.
We got somebody down for Urbandale, it looks like, in the bottom of that pile.
For an injury on the field.
Jeremiah Breeze, it looks like, is down.
While we've got a little break here, remind you the Iowa High School Athletic Association would like to take this opportunity to remind you that sportsmanship starts with you. Good sportsmanship means showing respect to student athletes, coaches, officials, schools, and those around you, regardless of how an event is going. Good sportsmanship shows character, accountability, and sets a positive example on and off the field. The IHSAA thanks you for being a good sport for tonight's game. And good sportsmanship as they clap as he goes off, and that is Jeremiah Breeze. Second and 9 for the 45 for Urbandale. Here 1:20 and counting in the first quarter, 1:28. And he's going to take it himself this time. Langenberg calls his own number.
Well, they had trips to the right side, and they went to the left side. A lot of times when you do see those trips over to the right, you're going to figure run to the left, and so that's exactly what they did.
And he runs a lot, 975 yards rushing, 9 TDs, and on the season. So 3rd and 4 at the 50. Back to pass. The rush is on, and it's knocked down as Urbandale was coming. Or excuse me, Waukee was coming, and Urbandale has the pass knocked down by Beretta.
And they were bringing everybody. They were going to put the heat on. They knew it was probable passing down, so they brought everybody and put the pressure on and were able to knock that one down. And we're going to see our first punt of the night.
Wait a minute. I was going to say, we got a punter on the field here. What is it?
And who knows? We've seen crazy things, so watch for a fake.
It's not necessarily going to mean he's going to punt it either. Jaden Harrell for Urbandale is back. Got a little bit of everything, too. A high snap. This snap is good, and the punt is away. And fair catch called for at the 20. And he's run into his own player. With 35.4 seconds to go, we've got our first punt of the game, and Waukee will take over 1st and 10 at their 20. So the Urbandale offense is the first one to give it over on downs here tonight.
They'll credit that Waukee defense, and we've seen throughout the course of the season a lot of times that Waukee defense, it bends, and it doesn't break. They usually step up their game, especially in the second half.
Randall hands it off over the right side, plowing up ahead.
Oh, I think we might have a fumble.
Lindquist. Did it come out late? There's a scramble over there.
Everybody's pointing and jumping around.
Friedrichsen made the tackle, number 24.
Hayden Friedrichsen on the tackle.
Yeah.
And they say it's Urbandale's ball on the fumble. So Urbandale takes it over after one play and a fumble by Waukee with 20.9 seconds to play here in the first quarter.
From the Waukee 28.
So they pick up a little field position. They punt, and then they pick up the fumble, so they gain some yardage on that in the exchange of the punt and the fumble.
Well, let's see what they run now. And the official is...
They're still talking it over.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if Urbandale just maybe throws one right to the end zone and tries to get the big score right here.
Take advantage of the turnover. And the referee is still kind of waiting around. I don't know. We don't have replay, so they're not doing
Yeah.
But I don't know what the...
Adjusted to 23 seconds during the quarter.
Okay, they've reset the clock to 23 seconds from 20.9. So here's Urbandale. Rolling, looking, throws it up into double coverage. And they're lucky they get Pat Economos, intended receiver, but they're lucky that didn't get picked off. Barreto, one of them back there in coverage.
Well, he was right in between two defenders and really was going to have to thread the needle to even get it into the hands of Economos. You're right, they're lucky it didn't get picked off.
It almost looked like Pattison was a better option out here, a little wider. But brings up second down and 10 at the 28 for Urbandale. Trips to the left now for Langenberg. Wings it out there, and they're going to be tripped up. That's Economos. And he'll get a couple yards. And that'll bring up 3rd and 8. I think that's going to be the end of the first quarter. It's been a wild one here, back and forth. Waukee up 1, 14-13. We'll be back with the second quarter after this on CISN.TV.
For the ultimate one-of-a-kind game day experience, make a stop at the other place. The game is on and drinks are cold with game day specials for every fan. Serving Iowa's best pizza since 1970, it's the place for the whole family. With a mouth-watering menu and state-of-the-art audio-video system, make the OP one of the most exciting destinations for sporting events viewing. The other place, American Sports Grill and Pizzeria. Join in on this Iowa tradition, serving the Midwest since 1970.
Is this guy a contractor who does good work or a contractor who needs work? For a reliable recommendation, trust the Better Business Bureau, protecting consumers for over a century. When you go to bbb.org to check out a business, you'll learn if it's BBB accredited, see its grade on customer service, and read honest, useful reviews from local people. For online recommendations you can trust, start with trust at bbb.org/Iowa.
We'll start the second quarter. Urbandale 3rd and 8 at the Waukee 27 after the fumble. Economos goes in motion across the formation, dropping back. Langenberg looking, lobs it out there for the big receiver, and it's caught, but he's out of bounds. Intended for Garwood.
Tough pattern and a little fade route to the corner, and just a tough angle to try to get that ball to Garwood.
Yeah, he was looking for the 6'5 receiver, but it wasn't going to quite get there. But threw in a place where then it goes out. So I think they're going to try, Economos is going to try a field goal here for Urbandale, which would give them the lead back. Spotted at the 34 to be a 44-yarder, and this one is up. No good, wide left.
Well, and before that, he was 3 of 4 coming into this ball game. His long was 31 yards, so he had the distance. He was just a little offline.
After the missed field goal, 1st and 10.
So Waukee will take over 1st and 10 at the 20. After the missed field goal, with 11:49 to play here in the first half. They have a 1-point lead. Fake by Randall, keeping himself. Rumble up for about 6.
quarterback draw right up the middle. And when he gets a little momentum behind him, he's very tough to bring down.
And you got to watch that. He'll keep diving in there, moving in there, and then he'll break a hole and get outside, and he could be gone. Here's Randall. Hands it off to Lindquist. He hops outside, cuts up across the 30 for a first down. Or excuse me, that was Espelin. He's one of those injured guys that is back. Scott Carlson said, they're hoping some of those other guys, if they win this game in advance, can get back, like Sam Yeway and some of them. I don't know if Yeway would be one of them, but there's some other injured guys that he thought. There's a fake throw out, has the receiver at the 40, 45, 50, 40, 35, and pulled down. Zach Eaton on the catch.
Get him going over the middle, and then he almost outruns the defense.
The result of the play is a Waukee Warrior first down from the Urbandale 31.
That would be 42-yard reception. Here's Randall. Fakes the handoff. Throws it out a little too hard to his receiver, Romdahl, I think.
Yep, a little too tall for Romdahl.
I think he was a little closer than he thought, too, because he put some heat on that thing, and Romdahl had all he could do to kind of grab that ball. It's a 2nd and 10 at the 31 for Waukee. Gives it to Espelin, and he's met in the backfield and knocked over by Max Carver.
Tackle for a loss by Max Carver, number 4 for the Jayhawks.
Job of getting right in there, right at the point of the handoff, and Carver throws him for a big loss.
Loss of 4, 3rd and 14 for the Warriors. Randall rolls left, looks back right, trying to get it over there, threw it over the head of his receiver. They had to kind of set it up where they're looking for Romdahl again, but threw it a little high.
Rolling out to the left and draw the defense that way, stop and come back the other way, set up a screen, and he just throws it a little bit too tall.
Brings up 4th and 14 at the 35, and they're going to keep the offense out there. They send Eaton over, now back. Now he's going to give the little pooch punt. And it bounces at the 15 and comes back. So they didn't get quite the roll I don't think they were hoping for there. But Waukee has their first punt of the night. Randall, the quarterback, does it. And well, they kept the ball for about 2 minutes, but unable to get in and score. So we've had the racing up and down the field. Now we slowed down a bit here, Laura.
Now it's slowed down a little bit. They're both kind of settling into a system and a pattern. And
burned off a little bit of that pregame energy that they had coming out here, hyped up.
I kind of like that. I'd like to see that again.
Here's Langenberg, brings out Urbandale now. Fakes it. Errol gives it off, I guess, to Economos, and he's going nowhere. He's grabbed by the jersey, and he's pushed all the way back. They'll stop his forward momentum about, we'll see how far they mark him back.
Looked like
the 5?
Yeah, looked like they were going to mark him at the 5.
They'll lose 10 yards on that.
Oh, and it looked like, everything was stopped up over there on that side of the field, and he was going to make a turn and come back the other way, and Whaley just could not find any kind of angle or any kind of opening to get by the pursuing defense.
So Langenberg brings them out. Now they got to be a little more careful, as Langenberg will set up with his heels right on the goal line for Urbandale. Sends a slot in motion and gives it to the up man. He's going to plow through there, just try to get a little more room. Whaley picks up a couple, but it's still going to be 3rd and 18.
Yeah, still way behind the chains, and they've got a good passing game. You just have to have one of those timing routes that you can get the ball out of your hands quickly, where you're not standing back in the pocket and possibly get caught in the end zone for a safety.
They send Economos and Grant Garwood to the left, and they're just going to hand it off up the middle, breaking through. Oh, looked like he had some room there and just gets tripped up. Whaley But if he gets by that tackler, Laura, we're looking first down and maybe some more.
Yeah, and everybody thinking pass like I was, and they run the ball, and just to get him a little bit of room, hoping that they might get that first down, might break that runner open, and now they're going to have to punt, but have a little bit more of a cushion for the punter now.
Picked up 7 there. And Harrell will take the high snap, just gets it off, almost had it blocked, and fair catch called for, caught back at the 49. And that is where Waukee will now take over. Joe Morrison on the fair catch with 8:05 to play here in the first half, a 1-point ball game. And Waukee will start on their own side of the field, but I don't know what the average starting position is for both these teams, but it's been pretty good. Urbandale, that last drive, not so good, but here's Waukee, 51 yards away now. Randall keeps it and goes up through the middle and then just gets pushed back. And now he's going to end up with only about a yard. Looked like he ran out 4 yards ahead and then came back.
Well, he took a couple of steps in and saw the defense there and tried to cut it back out, and they just stayed on him and pushed him back, and really he only got about a half a yard on all of that.
So not even, we'll call it a half yard because it was at the 49. Now it's in between the 49 and the 50-yard line for Mitch Randall. He fakes it, rolling right, looking downfield, and throws it short at the feet there for Zach Eaton. So brings up 3rd and long for Waukee.
He felt Jackson Rudo on his heels, and he had to just get rid of that and threw it into the ground.
Seems like Randall having a little trouble finding the range in those passes right in the flat out there. He's got trips right now. Single receiver to the top of your screen. Randall kicks the handoff back the other way, and that didn't fool the Urbandale defense at all as they pop him right down.
Augustin Tokpa, number 10, made the tackle for the Jayhawks.
And
Augie Topka.
Topka, yeah, once again on the tackle.
Right there, stayed at home and then just wrapped him up.
So Alex Walsh is going to come out to punt.
Number 8, Alex Walsh,
for
punt formation for the Warriors.
Waukee. And almost gets that one blocked. He gets it away, and a good Waukee bounce. It's going to roll down to the 21. It hit about the 35 and rolled a good 12 yards on that.
I think the Urbandale defenders that were in there on the punter kind of let up a little bit, it looked like, because he had a hard time handling that snap, and they were in there on it, but they just backed away, didn't want a chance.
Yeah, the one thing you get the 15-yard roughing, and that gives them a first down, but now we're back to Urbandale again with the ball with 6:32 to go. 1st and 10 at the 22. Ty Langenberg brings him out, fakes the handoff, wings it out there to Economos. Economos looks for some room, has some, up across the 35, still going to the 38 or 9. They're going to, back to the 37, I guess they're saying his knee went down. No, 38. So a big pickup on first down. That's what they've been lacking a little bit in the last couple drives.
Well, they kind of went away from the passing game a little bit. You know, they were kind of run first, where that passing game was able to get them a couple of scores.
A long time in the huddle here for Urbandale. We come out with 15 seconds on the play clock. Send Economos and Garwood to the bottom of your screen. Here's Ty Langenberg. Rolling, now throws back the other way for the screen. Set up over there. Has room up across the 50-yard line and out of bounds.
They got Whaley set up. Again, rolling one way, stopping, going back against the grain, and setting up that screen has worked well for both teams.
Trying to take advantage of what's been aggressive defenses here. 1st and 10 into Waukee territory. Urbandale with 5:55 to play. The clock stopped here in the first half. They trail by a point. Langenberg, racketed by back, sends the slot in motion. Gives it to Economos. He looks to turn the corner and is met and dropped. And Zach Eaton was one of them in there, I think. Morrison also. Yes. They read that, and there was no room for Economos at all in that jet sweep.
None whatsoever. I mean, they were right there on the spot, pushed him back, loss of, looks like about 4 or 5 yards.
2nd and 15 at the 47. And Urbandale now. They'll send trips to the right side. Dropping, dumps it over the top, has his man there across the 50. Whaley, up, down inside the 45. And a good play to pick up quite a bit of that yardage, get it back, and make a manageable 3rd down. It looks like there's a, well, he's just tying his shoe. He's not hurt, I don't think. Just a shoelace adjustment.
Well, they let the defenders through. They set it up nicely, a little screen pass over the top of the oncoming defense, and they're able to pick up a big chunk of yards.
So 3rd down, or was there a penalty? Now they're walking it back, so there must have been a penalty on Urbandale. I didn't see a flag on the field at all.
I sure didn't either.
We'll move it back to the 42. I didn't even see what the signal was on that.
I'm guessing maybe an eligible man downfield or something. I didn't see the signal.
Well,
I didn't see.
Yeah, it was a 15-yard illegal block, they say. We haven't had too many penalties. I think the only other one was for kicking the ball out of bounds. But that makes it a 2nd and 20 instead of a 3rd and about 4 for Urbandale. Rolling. Wings it out there. Has a man. He'll be short of the 1st down. That's Pattison.
And they get back a lot of those yards that they just got for the penalty and puts them into a somewhat manageable 3rd down.
Still 3rd and 8, but at the 45 for Urbandale. Clock rolling down. Garwood coming wide to the left side here. Send Economos in motion across the formation, dropping back, and there's a penalty. There's procedure, so a jump by Urbandale.
Now, Waukee was going to bring the house, and that made that offensive line jump for
Just
Urbandale.
A little itchy there, yeah. And so penalties are not helping out the Jayhawks on this drive, as now they're back on their own side of the 50. Third and 12 at the 50.
Just over 12 yards to go for the Jayhawks.
Here comes Urbandale. Big 3rd down for them, trailing by 1.
Look for the big receivers.
And Langenberg fakes on the draw, and he'll get right back up to about the original line of scrimmage. So I think they wanted everybody to think what you were thinking. Look for those big receivers to throw it downfield and maybe get the draw. But and sometimes you get that if they are blitzing, you can find that, everybody rushes by you and go downfield, but not that time. And we'll see what they do here. I would think if we're coming up on 3 minutes to play, they might punt, but maybe not here.
I think they're going to run as much game clock and play clock off as possible and then make a decision.
Yeah, they got timeouts. Nobody's taking a timeout. There hasn't been any time for that yet so far here. And they will take a timeout. So we'll take a timeout, too. It's 14-13, Waukee with 2:47 to play in the first half here on CISN.TV.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us. Or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing. 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing. Your size, your style, we got it all.
Back here at Waukee, Dar Danielson, Laura Leonard. A little bit of a surprise score. Ankeny over Valley, 14-0, Laura.
Yeah, that is a surprise. We've seen Valley, and they're a force to be reckoned with, but Ankeny sounds like has a good game plan coming into this game and has surprised the Tigers.
Yeah, Valley, the top-ranked team, the number 2 seeded team here at 9-0, and Ankeny.
Timeout, Waukee.
Well, Waukee takes a timeout, so.
I don't think they had the right personnel on the field.
So we'll take another break here and come back with more playoff football on CISN.TV.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury, whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Back here at Waukee, they trade timeouts now, and Urbandale will come out 4th and 10 at the 48. And they come up tight. Now they're going to drop back in punt formation after giving a little different look there. Jaden Harrell will drop back, takes the snap and gets it off under a little pressure. And booming punt, it bounces at the 5 and through the end zone. As I'll kick the coverage a little bit there, but after all that back and forth and 2 timeouts, it's punted out for a touchback. And Waukee will take over with 2:40 to play here. And what do you think, Laura? They be aggressive here, or just keep it on the ground, see if they pop something, and then go for it?
You know, I think you've got a lot of time here. You've got a couple of timeouts left. Why not try to go after it and get a big score right before you go into the locker room?
Handoff to Lindquist, or Espelin, excuse me. And he gets a good carry for about 9 yards. And they're going to get quickly out there on the ball. They've got 2 timeouts left.
Second and 1.
Randall throws it out there in the flat, hits his man this time, and he gets out of bounds. After the pickup, that's Espelin again. Good to see him back out there after being out a little bit with some injuries.
Yeah, they've had their fair share of injuries throughout the season, and they're slowly getting some players back, and if they can continue to work their way through the bracket, they're going to be at full strength.
And the flag comes down. I don't think everybody got set. Nope. They tried to go a little hurry up, and everybody's got to be set there before you snap it. So the first
5-yard penalty, first
penalty on them, I believe, on the offense, other than kicking the ball out of bounds. First and 15 at the 33. Handoff over the left side. Has some room there inside the 50. Is Espelin. Oh, he showed a little speed around the corner, didn't he?
And bounced back nicely from the injury, so it's a nice luxury to have him in the backfield, takes a little pressure off of Randall for having to do some of the running.
Holding, the flag down on Waukee, holding is called, so they're going to bring this one back. And the flag is back at the 42, so it'll be 15 yards from there. So wipe out that big play.
Boy, both of these teams down the stretch here in the second quarter have really kind of shot themselves in the foot with penalties.
I don't know if they just got tired after that first quarter, racing up and down the field maybe, but so it'll be still first down and 16 at the 32 after the penalty. Mitch Randall fakes a handoff inside, looking. Now throws it deep. Oh no, hit and caught off the ricochet. It's caught. Wow. Odell. Looked like a sure pick for Urbandale. Went off the defender's hands, and Odell picks it up.
Read perfectly by the defense. They couldn't pull it in. Goes off the hands, and Odell just right there never took his eyes off of it and hauls it in.
A little early trick-or-treating by Waukee. Dropping back, Randall. Looks to the end zone. A little long. Just overthrew the receiver. As they try to go for it all there.
Well, you're in a good position, down and field position to go after it and try to take a shot right away. Still got a lot of time, a minute 36 to work your way down the field.
Second 10 at the 34 for Waukee. Randall hands it off. Espeland up the middle. Plows through there. Down to the 25, and still, as you say, plenty of time. They got timeouts left, so they can afford to go on the ground a little bit.
Boy, when the defender is meeting Espeland, they're getting pushed back. I mean, he's just got a head of steam going into the defense, and you got to wrap up and try to meet him at the point.
3rd and 1 at the 25. Hand off to the back. He plows through the middle there. He's going to get the first down. Lindquist back in there. And now Espeland will come back in. Petrillo on the tackle for Urbandale. As we wind now to 1 minute to play. First half, Waukee trying to add to that 1-point lead. Mitch Randall. Fakes the handoff, rolling right, looking, throws it out there, caught by Eaton, and Eaton gets out of bounds at the 15.
As Randall's flush and rolls out to the right, Eaton's just moving right with him as he's moving toward the sidelines, and he hits him in stride, and he gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
44.3 seconds to play here, first half, 2nd and 2 at the 15. Randall fakes the inside handoff, rolls left, now throws back right over the head of Espeland.
Both times they've tried that play, he's been a little high with
on
that
the throw.
pass.
Yep. Where he rolls left and tries to throw him back. I don't know, he's just not squaring when he turns back. 3rd and 2 at the 15, 38.8 seconds to play. For Randall. This time they hand it off, go straight up through there, cuts, breaks a tackle down inside the 10. He'll get the first down. Alex Lindquist in there. Gets the first down. That stops the clock with 33 seconds to play. They'll get up quickly. Hand it off. Over the right side. Plows through inside the 5-yard line. Lindquist. Timeout. Waukee. Second. It'll be 2nd and goal at the 4. For Waukee.
Last couple of plays, Randall's been up under center, so it looks like they're just going to try to pound it into the end zone, at least the last 2 plays. That looked like that's what they were wanting to do. He was not in that shotgun, and very rarely do you see him go up under center. He's usually in that shotgun.
But he's one of the rare guys who, when they do run most of their plays out of the shotgun, he's one of the rare guys I've seen that does come up and can go under center. A lot of them I've seen Southeast Polk's quarterback, even I think Johnston Nord didn't really, I don't think he comes up under center at all, even when they're going to do a short run. He's maybe goes to the pistol where he's up a little closer. But, we got a second here. Message from the Iowa High School Athletic Association. They need your help to add registered sports officials in the 2018-19 school year. Officials are needed at all levels in IHSAA sanctioned sports. Officiating allows you to stay close to the game while serving as a community leader in action. And in Iowa, high school and junior high games can't take place without them. Visit ihsaa.org or highschoolofficials.com for more information. Help the IHSAA add one today. Here's Randall, and diving, touchdown.
Straight snap back to Randall, and he just picked his way through the defense. Great blocking up front, and he saw a little opening, and he dove for the goal line.
Randall run with 21.3 to play in the second quarter. Extends the Waukee lead to 7. Cade Jaden will come in for the extra point. And it's good.
And the kick is good.
That makes it 21-13. But for Urbandale, still a one-score game here. And while we had 14-13 after one quarter, we get one score here in the second. We'll take a quick break and go back with a kickoff after this on CISN.TV.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at Mid-American Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Back here at Waukee, the Warriors have just scored to go up 21-13. Urbandale had the extra point blocked on one of their touchdowns.
Good job of managing the clock, too. They got that ball back with about 2:40 on the clock after Urbandale turned it over.
Yeah, it was exactly 2:40, yep.
And they marched it right down the field. Didn't have to use all their timeouts. They used the sidelines very strategically, and they were able to put the ball in the end zone right before half. And that's exactly what they wanted to do to give them that momentum. We saw that last week as well.
Here's a squib kick taken by the up man. And he's going to stop at the 36. Strain.
Just advanced it a few yards after he picked it up and then just took a knee. Saved a little bit of time there, allows them maybe a couple of shots at the end zone.
We'll see. Urbandale has come out very aggressive. They scored opening 80-yard touchdown. Then they onside kicked it. Then came back and scored again. Langenberg hands it off right up the middle. Whaley. He's close to a first down there.
I think they're going to move the chains on that one. So a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, that would stop the clock.
And it gets you in a little bit better position to maybe take some.
That took about 5 seconds, and they call a timeout. And we want to thank all our sponsors for playoff football here tonight. The Better Business Bureau, recommendations you can trust. Schottenkirk Chevrolet, if it's not the power price, it's not the lowest price. The other place, the OP, serving the best pizza since 1970. Mid-American Energy, our 100% renewable vision. Well, you always want exciting playoff football, and we've sure had it so far in this first half.
Well, we sure have. I mean, it's right from the opening play. We had a lot of excitement, a lot of back and forth, and I would assume the second half will be much the same way.
Second one at the 45, 13.3 to play first half. Urbandale with the ball. They send Economos in motion. Fake it to him. Dropping back. Pressure. Wings it out to Economos. He's got room out there in the flat. He'll get out of bounds and stop the clock with 6.2 to play. So that amount of time, you almost just have to go downfield. You either run a hook and ladder or you try to go the Hail Mary.
If they can give him enough time in the pocket.
Or even that swing out with Economos out there or Whaley, you swing them out in the flat and maybe they can do something and break some tackles.
Yeah.
We'll see. You have a lot of options with this offense.
Well, and the Waukee defense is going to be playing deep and a little bit of prevent.
1st and 10 at the 48, 6.2 seconds to go for Ty Langenberg. Economos comes back over the other side, as is Grant Garwood. So they'll get trips to the right. They'll fake the handoff, wings it out there to Economos, looking for some help, and he gets out of bounds with 1.6 seconds to go. And now you got to have some kind of play, gadget or otherwise, to get to the end zone. 2nd and 3 at the 41. Of course, the yardage doesn't matter. And now Urbandale's going to use that last timeout and talk about it. Let's take a break. We'll be back after this on CISN.TV.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Here at Waukee, final 1.6 seconds to go on the clock in what's been a wild and woolly first half. Urbandale and Waukee, and Waukee's going in the total prevent defense, Laura.
Yeah, two defenders with their feet almost on the goal line back there, 2 at the 10-yard line. So
Ty Langenberg for Urbandale is going to try to chuck it to the end zone here. No, he won't. Oh, and he almost chucked it to the other team. As they were going to try to wing it out there, and that was almost a pick six the other way.
Now very close and good read on the few people that were rushing on that front line of defense. Got the hands up, able to knock it away and go to the locker room down 21-13. A good half by both teams.
So we'll take a break. We'll come back and check out the scoring in this first half, and then we'll have a special guest coming up here too. So the halftime score, Waukee up by 8, 21-13 here over Urbandale on CISN.TV.
The trade-in, trade-up event at Schuttenkirk Chevy Waukee. Up to 12.5 off select new 18 Silverado Crew Cab LTs. Up to 6,000 off select new 18 Colorado ZR2s. Trade-in, trade-up in Waukee. Up to 19% off. Or choose $500 plus 0% for 72 months on new 19 Chevy Equinox LTs. Over 20% off. Or get $1,000 plus 0% for 72 on new 18 Chevy Trax. Trade-in, trade-up at Schuttenkirk Chevy Waukee. Chevy, find new roads. WaukeeChevy.com.
For the ultimate one-of-a-kind game day experience, make a stop at the other place. The game is on and drinks are cold with game day specials for every fan. Serving Iowa's best pizza since 1970, it's the place for the whole family. With a mouth-watering menu and state-of-the-art audio-video system, make the OP one of the most exciting destinations for sporting events viewing. The other place, American Sports Grill and Pizzeria. Join in on this Iowa tradition, serving the Midwest since 1970.
There's no doubt about it. Saving feels great. At Mid-American Energy, we love saving too. Saving the environment by supporting tree planting, which improves air quality. Saving money by investing in wind energy, which keeps rates low. And saving you energy by providing tips to help make your home more energy efficient. Which means you can take those savings and put your energy into having fun. Saving definitely feels great. So does being obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Is this guy a contractor who does good work or a contractor who needs work? For a reliable recommendation, trust the Better Business Bureau, protecting consumers for over a century. When you go to bbb.org to check out a business, you'll learn if it's BBB accredited, see its grade on customer service, and read honest, useful reviews from local people. For online recommendations you can trust, start with trust at bbb.org/Iowa.
Back here at Waukee High School, our halftime score in this playoff matchup on CISN.TV, 21-13. Waukee over Urbandale. We'll run down the first half scoring for you. Just took one play for Urbandale. The opening kick, they got it at the 20, then threw it out to the back. He rolled to his right, threw it downfield. Will Pattison caught it, and then he cut across the field, went all the way in, 80 yards for the touchdown. The extra point was blocked, and that made it 6-0 Urbandale. Urbandale tried the onside kick, unable to recover it, and Waukee came back and went on a drive of their own. And with 8:01 to play, Sam Odell got the 4-yard catch, and it was the PAT was good by Jaden, and it was 7-6. Urbandale came right back, drove it down, had a big play. I think there was a snap that almost got away from the quarterback, but he able to pick it up. It got over his head, able to pick it up and threw a pass incomplete, kept the drive alive. Then Whaley gets a 1-yard run with 4:40 to play in the first quarter. PAT was good, and Urbandale's up 13-7. We come right back, 1:51 to play. Waukee gets a 16-yard pass. Sam Odell, his second TD catch of the night. The extra point was good by Jaden. It's 14-13. Then Waukee, we go into the second quarter. Things kind of calmed down a little bit. We go into the second quarter, and with Waukee took it over with 2:40 to play, drove it down, and they get a Randall keeper 4 yards out. The extra point is good, and it's 21-13 Waukee here at the half, Laura. And we talked about it. We liked the energy and excitement that Urbandale came out with, and Waukee matched them too. They came right back out, took those opening punches and come right back, and now lead here at halftime.
Yeah, they both went toe-to-toe, and Urbandale with that spark and surprise. And you know what? When you're the lower seed, sometimes you have to do some of those things to get you going in a playoff game like this. And so I think that kind of set the tone of this football game. And Waukee was up for the match, and they responded right away. I think the key is they scored. Waukee scored right before half, and I believe they're going to get the football.
Yeah,
to
they
start
deferred,
third
so they'll
quarter,
get the football to start that third quarter. So that'll be a big drive for Urbandale. But yeah, and then one thing sometimes you worry about is you expend all that energy early, and you hope that you can keep it up, and that'll be the thing for Urbandale, and come back out and try to get that stop to start the third quarter.
And I think that's going to be the big key for them to start that second half. They've got to be able to stop Waukee, turn them over on downs or get a turnover, whatever it might be. They need to get the football back in their offense's hands and see if they can march down the field and try to tie this game up. So those are the things that they're talking about in the locker room right now at halftime. Last week we saw Waukee make some really nice adjustments at halftime to come back and win that ball game and set themselves up in the playoffs.
We've seen a nice mix, too, offensively. It started out kind of pass-happy, but then they went more to the run. We've seen some good runs out of Espelin and then Whaley on the other side, Economist. But then both these quarterbacks really seem to have a presence and looking down the field and looking for that receiver, too.
I think that's probably something that both of these coaches saw when looking at game film, that they knew that maybe they could pass on both of these defenses and show the defenses a nice mix. And that's what they're doing now, is they're getting the good balance between running the football and passing the football as well. But both of them look very confident. They're having to move around a little in the pocket because the defense is getting in on them, but they're able to hit their receivers and gain yards.
That's been a bit of a chess match, too, defensively. When you get up there and you think they're going to blitz, you try to call that quick out or the pass in the flat there, and both these two teams have kind of done a pretty good job, I think, of adjusting that. I can't think of too many really where they come through and sack them, have they, tonight so far?
I don't think so. I mean, there's been some close opportunities, and they've flushed the quarterbacks out of the pocket. I think both of these teams are rolling their quarterbacks out to get them away from the pressure and setting up plays that way. But I don't think anybody's really gotten back into where they've been bottled or been able to bottle up the quarterback at all.
I think the one turnover was the fumble by Waukee, and that didn't end up being points for Urbandale at all. And then, of course, the big play was the blocked extra point on that first PAT, and the first one of the season here for Urbandale coming in the playoffs. So that's kind of put them. Now they could still, if they got the ball back, go down and scoring. Then you have to go for 2, though, make it a little tougher.
At some point in time, you're going to have to make that up. You're going to have to make up the blocked extra point. Whether you go right away in the third quarter, if you score, do you go for 2 right away to tie it up, or do you still kick that extra point? You don't, you get yourself into a little bit of a hole if you don't make the 2-point conversion. So do you want to stay within that 8-point range? So that's just, I know there's a theory and a formula to do all that with the 2-point conversion, but playoff time, you sometimes have to gamble a little bit.
We did see Urbandale, they tried that field goal. It was, a 44-yarder? Mm-hmm. I think he had enough foot. It just kind of tailed a little bit to the left on him on that, too, which would have made a bit of a difference, would have put them ahead by 2 at the time.
I was watching him during warm-ups as far as kicking field goals, and he certainly has enough leg. He was pulling everything a little bit to that left upright, and that's exactly, I think, where he missed that one. But he did have the distance, and so if it does come down to a field goal, you know that both of these kickers have the leg to be able to win a ball game.
And the flags are still holding right down. We got no breeze here tonight. A really beautiful night for playoff football here. We're going to do this. Let's take another break. We'll take another break. We're at halftime, and it's Waukee is up 21-13. Back with more after this on CISN.TV.
Building a strong community doesn't happen overnight. It takes a vision for the future, the ability to turn a challenge into a success, and individuals who inspire new generations of growth. Greater Des Moines has done a lot of growing over the years, and so have we. At Brick Gentry Law, your success is something that we create together. Thank you for making us a part of your community. Thank you for 50 years.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Back here at Waukee, another halftime score. Valley has scored, so it's 14-7 Ankeny over Valley at the half. A little surprise on Ankeny pulling out the 14-0 lead over undefeated Valley here. But again, playoffs, and every coach, we're all 0-0, but you are. You come out, and we saw it here tonight. Urbandale, nothing to lose. Take your shots, and, you might catch the other team. You might get the lead and end up, going on and winning that.
Sometimes I think coaches save some things for playoffs, and they have those secret plays, the trick plays, or just some plays that the other team has not been able to see on game film. And so you throw those at them, and you're going to surprise them. And so, you'll see those kinds of things. I think that's probably helped Ankeny. We did see a game, though, several weeks back where I think this Waukee team got Valley down at halftime, and they were able to roar back and win that ball game. And so, Valley's definitely not out of it, but it's a little bit of a surprise that Ankeny's on top and holding steady.
Dowling over Fort Dodge 28-0 at halftime. That was one where I thought, that Fort Dodge team, if they could get out and score, maybe get a lead, they were going to have to do that. Otherwise, we've seen Dowling. They can really grind you down. And it sounds like so far they're doing that to Fort Dodge.
Yeah, and then they certainly have the weapons, and then once they get out to a lead, they can just run that clock. They can use that running game and just keep the time of possession in their offense's hands and just run out the clock.
Well, Urbandale, they came out with that flurry to start the first half here. Can they do that in the second, I think? What's the coach telling them here to come out in the second half?
I think they just have to regroup and then talk about all the positive things that they did in that first quarter, and they were able to match up with Waukee both offensively and defensively. And I think, halftime came at a good time for Urbandale. It gives them a chance to rest a little bit, go back over some things, come back out with a little bit of a sense of urgency, knowing that they're gonna have to play defense first, And so they have to come out with the mindset of you got to stop this Waukee offense, get the ball back in our hands, and see if we can tie this thing up. And that's kind of got to be the mindset. So I think it's going to be on the defense to set the tone for Urbandale in the second half.
Well, I kidded Scott Carlson when I talked to him. I said, you certainly don't want to fall down 21-0 like they did last week at Johnson and come back. He goes, oh, you never want to do that. They took some shots early, fell behind after that big play, but they responded well to that.
Yeah, they did. They did, and they were able to make those adjustments. Totally different team when they came out in the second half last week. So, this team listens to their coaches and the adjustments that they're telling them about at halftime, and then they're taking what they're listening and hearing in the locker room and putting it to play in the football field.
Well, we're at halftime here. We're going to take another break. At the half, it's Waukee over Urbandale, 21-13. You see Urbandale coming back out. Waukee guys back out there getting warmed up a little bit. Chilly night, but probably a good night to be playing football if you got the pads on. So we'll take another break here. Be back with more after this on CISN.TV.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us. Or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we've got it all.
Back here at Waukee, Dar Danielson, Laura Leonard on CISN.TV. And thanks again to all of our sponsors who have stepped up to help pay for this broadcast of the playoffs, because there is a rights fee for this. Mid-American Energy, our 100% renewable vision. The other place serving the best pizza since 1970, Schottenkirk Chevrolet. If it's not the power price, it's not the lowest price. Schottenkirk Chevrolet. And the Better Business Bureau, recommendations you can trust from the Better Business Bureau. And man, I've had a little tickle in the throat. I had a little bit of that creeping crud going on, and it's kind of this time of year where you get that. So if I break into a coughing fit here, Laura, you're going to have to take over. Can you do that?
I'll do my best. Just get him lots of water, everybody.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's see. Dialing up Valley, a little bit of surprise there. I haven't seen a Centennial score yet to see where they're at with it, but that's going on. And then the winner of this one, they're in bracket C here, has Indianola at Cedar Falls over the Unidome. The other brackets, Southeast Polk at Ankeny Centennial, Prairie of Cedar Rapids at Johnston, Ankeny at Valley. We talked about that, Fort Dodge at Dowling. Then the other bracket, Cedar Rapids Kennedy at Iowa City West, and Pleasant Valley at Bettendorf in the eastern side of the state bracket. And it'll be interesting if Valley, if they're able to come back, we'll see. But Ankeny Centennial, they've been strong all year. They're undefeated. Another one of the good teams here in central Iowa. Then you go over on the eastern side of the state, a couple of 8-1 teams, and then 9-0 Cedar Falls. So, and we don't get to see those teams too much because we're over here working doing our game. Right. So it's always interesting to see how that matches up. But so far, I think this has been a pretty good game.
It has been a really good game, and both teams just playing with a lot of confidence, knowing what's at stake, and coming in with a really good game plan. And, neither team is out of it. Neither team separated themselves too much, and so it's going to be a battle for these next couple of quarters.
I think the key probably will be the start on this first drive, as we talked about it. Waukee will get the kick here, and of course we could see another onside, who knows, out of Urbandale, but Waukee deferred and kicked off, so they will get the ball here to start the second half. And let's see, Southeast Polk over Centennial 14-7 in the third quarter. So maybe a potential upset there. And again, Valley trailing Waukee. Indianola down Cedar Falls 21-0. So Cedar Falls up on that one. Dowling, we talked about 28-0. As I see the scores scroll by here. Johnston over Prairie 14-0. And so Central Iowa team so far doing pretty good here, looks like, on the scoreboard. Southeast Polk, that's one of those teams that I thought their record probably wasn't indicative of where they're at. And they've got some really good athletes and just kind of got scheduling is a little bit of it too, and they got off to a slow start, but they have some good players, and you didn't want to get in a situation where you got behind with them, I don't think.
Right, and again, I think it's what you were talking about at halftime. You get a team like that gets into the playoffs. All they want is a chance. Just give us a chance, and they've got their opportunity. And they're playing a very tough Centennial team, but they've certainly jumped out to a lead. And you're right, they're a team that if you get behind, they're going to be tough to come back on.
So we're out of the locker room. The Urbandale Jayhawks coming out in the white uniforms here. They're ready to go. And Waukee in the dark uniforms coming out as we get ready for the start of the second half. And Economos is going to tee it up. Now how deep he'll kick it, we'll see.
Alex Economos will kick off
And
the second half for the Jayhawks, number 2.
Well, that front line of the receiving team, they've seen enough so far in this game that they're going to stay pat and wait to make sure it gets kicked off.
Little looper taken up at the 27, across the 30, up to about the 33-yard line by Waukee.
35 on the kick return for the Warriors.
And Reese Cooper, back took that.
First and 10 Warriors.
So,
Waukee 34.
first and 10 at their own 34 for Waukee. Hand off, cutting out the outside and getting a big pickup on first down as Lindquist.
Max Carver, number 4 on the tackle.
Boy, Randall held it in there, and Lindquist's belly as long as he could, finally let go of it, and he had the room around the corner.
And the good thing with you got Blake Espelin coming back, that gives them some depth back there. They can switch out some of those running backs. There's a handoff again, left side. They're going to pound it up ahead. Lindquist across the 50 into Urbandale territory.
Max Carver, number 4.
Max Carver on the tackle,
Number 47 on the tackle.
along with Jackson Rudo.
Second and 5.
Second and 5 at the 50. Dropping back, Randall looking, throws it out left side as a man, eaten over the hands.
Pass is incomplete. Intended for Zach Eaton, number 8.
And had him there just a little long.
It was just out of the reach of Eaton, and I don't know if Eaton slowed down just a hair as he was trying to locate the football.
Yeah, because he had to kind of look back over the shoulder and maybe into the lights a little bit, but
just out of the reach of his outstretched hands. What a great patch, great touch on that pass.
And, you take a shot downfield, but you come back and you still got a 3rd and 5 here, so not in a bad spot. Mitch Randall. Slot comes in motion across the formation. Now they hand it off, cutting it up. Lindquist plows through and just about broke through the last tackle. He'll get the first down there. And Max Carver had to get around his ankles and pull him down. And it'll be a 1st and 10 for Waukee.
And you can afford to take those shots to the end zone when you have a back like Lindquist that can bust through the line like that.
1st and 10 at the 41. Initial drive of the third quarter for Waukee. And off Lindquist again. Follows his blockers through the hole. Gets a few. Still, we can see the strategy here. Just pound it down, work the clock, and impose your will to start the third quarter here on Urbandale.
Yeah, they're content to run, and then drop a pass in there. But it looks like they may be keeping it on the ground and just work their way slowly down the field.
Send two receivers here to the bottom of the field. Fake the handoff. Randall rolling right. Throws it down deep. Oh, and almost a good catch. He had to come back for that, but couldn't quite get to it. And was that Odell? Yep.
Wait, Odell did a nice job of keeping it away from the defender as well.
Yeah.
You know, he had to play a little defense
Yeah,
there.
it was kind of a little behind him. And Odell's 6'3", 181, so has some size. 3rd and 7 at the 38. Randall gives a handoff. Lindquist, right side. And he's going to be pulled up just short as he gets inside the 35.
And they're going to line up quickly, it looks like. Except somebody lost a shoe down there. Is that Lindquist that lost a shoe?
4th and 3 at the 34. I think so. He's going to go without a shoe, isn't he? Or did he get it?
I think he got it on.
Okay, hard to tell. They're all white, yeah. He goes to Randall's right now. Randall wings it out and going to dive ahead, and I think he got it on that extra effort. Espelin. He caught it shy of the 30, but fell ahead, moved ahead, and got the first down.
Boy, and he got stood up, but had enough presence of mind to lean forward and get across the 30. Here
comes Randall again, running with that double slot formation. They throw it out there to Espelin. Coming out of that slot on the left side. He'll pick up 4.
Forced out of bounds, gain of 4, 2nd and 6.
Just moving it methodically down the field here, Waukee. This time they'll go to the end zone, and the receiver falls down.
Odell was the intended receiver.
Odell. And the ball went on into the end zone.
And give the pump fake, and I think on the move to head towards the end zone, I think Odell slipped and fell.
Urbandale had that covered pretty well out there.
Gabriel Hoyt defending on that play. 3rd and 6 for the Warriors from the Urbandale 25.
So 3rd and 6 for Waukee at the 25 of Urbandale. There's a handoff up the middle, breaks through Lindquist. He's going to go. Touchdown!
He just knew it was going to be a matter of time that he was going to finally break through that line and through the secondary and the second line of defense, and he made a nice move at about the 13-yard line, and then he was able to finish it off, get into the end zone.
Lindquist rushes it in.
Number 3 in to attempt the extra point.
Jaden in for the extra point try. Snap is good, the hold is good, the kick is good.
And the kick by Jaden is good.
And it's 28-13. Waukee as they score on the opening drive. We'll take a break, come back with a kickoff after this on CISN.TV.
Is this guy a contractor who does good work or a contractor who needs work? For a reliable recommendation, trust the Better Business Bureau, protecting consumers for over a century. When you go to bbb.org to check out a business, you'll learn if it's BBB accredited, see its grade on customer service, and read honest, useful reviews from local people. For online recommendations you can trust, start with trust at bbb.org/Iowa.
Here at Waukee, the Warriors took the kick to open the second half, drove it down. And with 9:03 to go, they get the 25-yard run by Lindquist and up their lead to 15 here. And they're set to kick it off to Urbandale. The Jayhawks will get their first chance to touch it here, and they're going to kind of wedge shot over to the 25. It's taken there up to 30, and fumble. Let's see. Well, there's, I'm going to say he's down.
Yeah,
yep.
I think he was down. Well, as we talked at halftime, if you're Urbandale, you wanted to stop Waukee on their first series. You weren't able to do that. Waukee did everything they wanted to do, pounded the ball down the field, able to finally get the big run and the touchdown. And now Urbandale's going to have to try to answer.
Langenberg comes out. Send Economos in motion, gives it off to Whaley, going back around the other way. Whaley knocked out of bounds at the 39. Pickup of 5 for Whaley. Brings up 2nd and 5.
They just have not been able to shake Whaley loose at all. I mean, he's their leading ground gainer.
But
and they just haven't been able
runs
to.
like that, we say little runs, but on first down 5 isn't bad, but not the big play. That's Pattison at the bottom of the screen here. Fake the handoff, throw across the middle, and then off the hands of the receiver. There. Looking for Garwood.
Joe Morrison defending on the play, number 36.
Looking for the 6'5" junior there. And just off of his hands, so that brings up 3rd and 5.
Joe Morrison stuck him right as the ball got to him. He hit him right in the midsection, and he had to take a minute to catch his breath.
Yeah, you're playing tight end and you go right up that seam. You got to be watching there when that ball comes to you. So they send trips to the right now. And he pulls it out. Now lobs it over the top to Garwood. Garwood, did he pull it down? I think he did. Garwood wrestled that one down that time. And what a play.
That's the advantage of 6'5" at your tight end position.
And he just hung on to it. And they go it into Waukee territory now. 1st and 10 at the 44.
I think both of them had their hands on it, and I think Garwood was just strong enough to be able to pull it into his body.
11-yard pickup there. And it's 1st and 10 at the Waukee 44 for Urbandale. They trail by 15. Dropping back. Throws it deep for Pattison. Did he catch it? No. It just came out. He's mad at himself because he had his hands on it and had a step. Pretty nicely thrown ball, too.
It was, and he had the opportunity to run right underneath it and just could not haul it in, but the defender was right there with him stride for stride.
Yeah, and as soon as it hit his hands, he was all over him, too. So well defended, brings up 2nd and 10 at the 44.
2nd and 10 Jayhawks.
For the Jayhawks. Trips to the right again for Langenberg. Now he'll take it himself on that option, pitches back, but they're right there. They ran it to the short side of the field, and the defenders came right up and didn't let him get anything out of that.
Yeah, they just stayed right over there, didn't look away from it at all and stayed at home and were able to cover it up. And that pitch, I thought it was so close that they might have fumbled it.
Well, here we go, 3rd and 13 at the 47 for Urbandale. Need to keep the drive alive as they trail by 15 here. Early in the 3rd, but Langenberg dropping back. Gets some pressure, rolls out of it. Throws it deep up the field. That's Pattison behind the defense, caught it. Pattison kept up, and he goes out of bounds at the 12. And credit Langenberg also for keeping that play alive.
And good blocking, too. He was able to get away from the pressure and roll out to his right. And another nicely thrown ball. And Pattison just separates himself from 2 defenders.
That would be, let's see, 41 yards down the field. 1st and 10 for Urbandale. as they find their 6'2" senior receiver, Will Pattison. He caught the 80-yard touchdown pass to open the game on the first play. Now twins to each side. Langenberg dropping back. A little pressure, throws it across the middle, a little high over the head of the intended receiver there. Looking for number 12, Lucas Strain.
I think it was Hunter Dahlgren, 17, coming across the middle there.
Zach Eaton defending. 2nd and 10.
And Zach Eaton back there on defense.
This is the kind of drive that the Jayhawks wanted to have.
Now they'll send trips to the left. Wing it out there and over the head of Economos.
Incomplete pass.
They've run that play fairly successfully a couple times. You send the two receivers down and hit Pattison in behind them as they take the defenders away, but that time the pass just a little high.
Yeah, I think he had some room to run if he would have been able to catch that cleanly. They can still get that first down at the 3-yard line.
A big third down here. Could be 4-down territory for Urbandale as they trail. We'll see. They send Dahlgren and Economos to the left. Dropping back, looking, now running himself, and he's going to get tripped up. Looked like he had a hole for a moment there.
Kai Langenberg on the run, number 7.
But then was tripped up.
Connor Arndt made the stop, number 95.
Connor Arndt in there on the stop, the defensive tackle.
4th down Jayhawks.
And let's see what they do. If they go for the field goal here, I think they're going to do that. They're going to get points early, which might be smart.
Number 2 in field goal formation.
Economos, he missed his other attempt at 44. This one they'll spot right at the 20, so it'll be a 30-yarder for Economos. High snap set down. It's heading toward the left. Did it catch through the upright? Yes, it did. It's good.
Boy, again, a lot of height on his kicks that just go right over the top of the goalpost, but he snuck it inside that left bar, that left upright, to give them 3 more points. And that's what they needed. They needed to get points on that drive.
And it does, yeah, any kind of points. You're down to 12 now. Still 2 scores, but still, you get down, as you say, we get down there to 12 and not get points would have been bad. We'll take a quick break here and come back with the kickoff after this on CISN.TV.
There's no doubt about it. Saving feels great. At Mid-American Energy, we love saving too. Saving the environment by supporting tree planting, which improves air quality. Saving money by investing in wind energy, which keeps rates low. And saving you energy by providing tips to help make your home more energy efficient. Which means you can take those savings and put your energy into having fun. Saving definitely feels great. So does being obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Here we go. Alex Economos hits a bouncer, but it's blown dead, I think, before they got it off. I don't see.
On the kickoff.
They're offsides?
Yeah, I didn't see the flag come out, but he blew the whistle right away, so maybe they ran offside. Yeah, they're going to mark it back 5.
Offsides against Urbandale on the kickoff.
Oh, I see. There's a flag on the far side over there. Okay. So offside. Well, I don't know. It's hard to tell how that might have come out because they blew the whistle right away as the ball was still rolling ahead. So we'll see now if Economos would try to kick it deep or because that extra 5 yards would make a little bit of a difference here. You got to go 10, so you.
Yeah, even if it's recovered in Urbandale territory.
This time he's going to go for the high looper. Comes down at the 35, taken up to the 46.
Alex Lindquist on the
and Lindquist returns it. I don't know if he was trying to find a dead spot and get it in there, but it went right to a Waukee, to Lindquist.
And they're getting to start in pretty darn good field position again.
Yeah, 1st and 10 at the 42 for Waukee. 6:27 to play in the third. And going to keep it himself, spin around, and then be spun down. Randall. It's nowhere there. That Southeast Polk Centennial, I think, was tied up at 14. Valley is ahead of Ankeny now, 17-14. In a couple other games.
2nd and 8.
And Randall gets 2 to make it 2nd and 8 at the 44. Fakes the handoff. Now throws it out and hit immediately and brought down. Espelin and tackled by Gabe Holt for the Jayhawks. And that was a good tackle. That gives them a 3rd and 4 here. If they can get another stop, force a punt.
Yeah, Holt did a good job of hitting him right away and not allowing him to get any yards after that catch. And Espelin comes off the field. He's maybe a little dinged up again.
Fake. Yep, gives a handoff up the middle, plowing through there. Lindquist. And well, he's just been money running between the tackles tonight, hasn't he?
They don't have an answer for him right now, especially here in the third quarter. They've just been giving it to him on that inside handoff, and he's found a lot of running room.
Result of the play is a Waukee first down.
1st and 10 for Waukee at the 47. Grinding the clock down too. 5:18 to play in the third quarter. Waukee went on a long drive to open up the third quarter. Now this time he'll keep it himself. Randall gets outside. 30, 25, 20. Now cuts back in and he's brought down at the 10. Randall.
We got a flag back here at about the 37-yard line.
Yeah, so this may be coming back. Holding will be the call on Waukee, and that's right about the first down marker, so that'll bring it back. Be about 3rd and 11. Or no, be 1st and 11. That was first down.
Right.
Okay, yep, with the spot where it was. Should be 1st and 11 at the 48. 5:03 to play here, third quarter. Waukee up 28-16.
Result of the penalty, ball is marked at the Urbandale 48. It'll still be first down.
Still a fairly well-played game as far as the penalties go. Not a lot of them. Here's Randall. Fakes. Throws it deep. Left sideline. Oh, just beyond the receiver. Odell, I think, was it?
I think it was Jalen Martinez.
Martinez.
Number 14.
Yep. Martinez in the
Hayden Friedrichsen defending on that play for the Jayhawks.
game there. And brings up 2nd and 11.
They've tried that pattern several times, that sideline pattern, the go pattern down the sidelines, and just been a little too long with his passes.
Randall brings him up, 2nd and 11. Hands it off, Lindquist.
Alex Lindquist, the
Bowls up the middle, gets about 4.
Jackson Rudo on another tackle, number 47.
We'll call it 3, 3rd and 8.
Gain of about 3. It'll be 3rd down.
Again, a big 3rd down for the Urbandale defense. They'd like to get off the field and get the ball back in the hands of their offense here.
If they can get a stop here, it could change momentum.
Randall rolling right. Throws back left. Rumdahl off his hands. I don't know if he'd have gotten the first down there because the defenders were closing on him. Gabe Holt. So he would have had to put a couple moves on, and they'll bring up 4th down. And I think they'll probably bring in Walsh and try to pin him deep here. But the stop that the Jayhawks needed on defense. And Economos will drop back to his 15.
Lucas Strain deep to receive.
And there's a good punt. And he's going to pick it up. And that was Lucas Strain, not Economos. That was 12, not 2. So Strain takes it.
Receives the punt, number 12 for the Jayhawks.
And that kind of caught him in between. Do you let it bounce and try to get in the end zone for the touchback, or risk them downing it? I almost maybe would have let it bounce. I think the rule is inside the 10.
Yeah, that's kind of the rule.
And then you put the onus on the defense to try to make the play to stop it there. But now they get it on the 5.
And I think the defense was right there, so they might have downed it right away on the 1 or 2. So
the other problem is you come up and try to handle that. Sometimes you muff it, then they're right there too.
Yeah. He might have saved him a few yards by just pulling it in right there at the 5.
So the Jayhawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 5. Hand it off. They'll go right up the middle and get a couple yards. Whaley. Maybe 3, so a little breathing room there. You mentioned it earlier. Whaley just unable to get him uncorked here and get any big long runs that he's had all season. Over 1,000 yards on the ground so far this season. 9 touchdowns. And
I think Waukee jumped.
Yep. And the official steps in and, they're going to say offside.
Offside to Waukee.
So that makes it, goes from 2nd and 7 to 2nd and 2.
You get the offense pinned down there close to their goal line. That defense is getting a little antsy.
Yeah, you're anxious to get in there and knock them back. 3:35 to play. The clock rolls again now. And Ty Langenberg, the junior quarterback for Urbandale. He had to step in when J.D. Colby went down. He's done a great job for him. Drops back, looking, throws across. He has the receiver can't handle it there was Pattison.
I think Aaron Smith on the defense did a great job going up and knocking it away from Pattison.
Had him coming up and in, and he catches that. Man, he might have still been going too.
And a good time to take a shot. You were 2nd and 2. Why not go ahead and take a shot downfield? And now you got to pick this up.
Yep, now you got to get the first down here. 3rd and 2 at the 13. They look to the left to get the play. Hand it off. Around the end, Whaley. And he'll get the first down.
All the pressure was coming up the middle.
Yep, they're all
looking. And
they
sent him out to the corner and around the end.
Urbandale isn't a big run it up the middle team anyway. They usually try to get the edge, and Whaley did that time. Turned the corner.
First down, Jayhawks.
1st and 10 at the 21. Dowling 41-0 over Fort Dodge in the 4th quarter now in that ball game. 3:08 to play in the 3rd here. The Jayhawks going to throw deep, pumped and went deep. Pattison over the shoulder catch. Wow! Flag down.
And I think they're going to call offensive pass interference, and I think Pattison might have pushed off.
Maybe, as he was looking back for that. Yes.
What a catch anyway.
Dropped it over the shoulder. He had to look back for it, and we'll see what the call is. Yep, offensive pass interference. You pick that up, Laura, as he pushed off, and that'll come back.
Boy, he is an athlete, and what great hands he has. But that time gained the advantage, pushing off just enough for the official to catch it and throw the flag.
Well, Ty Langenberg's got a little pep in the arm, too, doesn't he, to get it out there to him?
He does. He puts a lot of air underneath it, but it allows him to run under it and haul it in.
And that nullifies the big play there and brings it back to the 11, where it's 1st and 20.
Ball's marked at around the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and 21.
And 1st and 20 for the Jayhawks. 3 minutes to play exactly here in the third quarter. They trail 28-16. Dropping back again. They're going to wing it out deep again up the left side. Oh, and then knocked away. Good defensive play is that time just a little underthrown.
Knocked down by Joe Morrison, number 36.
Joe Morrison playing deep and goes up again and gets great position. He could have maybe hauled that one in, but he just knocked it away.
Yeah, he was playing the ball, and he slowed up, maybe tried to get the interception, but that's something where you don't want to miss with the receiver behind you like that, because then there's nobody back there to help you. 2nd and 20 at the 11. Urbandale going to bring Economist over here as the middle receiver. We need a big chunk of yardage. Screen play. They get it out there, cutting back through and up, and get a little bit of that yardage back. Whaley comes back through.
Run that screen play, and they just throw it right over the top of the oncoming defense, dump it over the top. Langenberg does. A little jump pass almost. He had to get up above.
To get over that, those big
over
linemen coming in. And again, Whaley just can't find the crack to get open here, as it's 3rd and 14 at the 17 for Urbandale. Across the middle, batted around and almost picked off, but falls short. Zach Eaton is in there.
Well, the offense had to turn into defense to knock that ball away from Eaton.
Yeah. So Urbandale's going to be forced to give it up here, and could end up with pretty good field position for Waukee, depending on how good a punt Harrell can get for Urbandale. They bring everybody, and will bring a lot, so he's just going to fair catch it. Morrison, but came hard on the rush and unable to get to it. So Waukee will take over at their own 49 with 1:58 to play here in the third quarter, and still leading 28-16. So credit to Warrior defense. They've stepped up again. We saw them had a little trouble last week, Laura, but then they came out and stiffened up in that second half and got some stops when they needed it to get them back in that game against Johnson, as we see a flag come down.
Penalty flag.
A little bit of a rolling start, I think, maybe on Waukee. Yep.
Illegal procedure, Waukee. 5-yard penalty, it'll be 1st and 15.
Yeah, just trying to get a step on the defense and jumps the gun a little bit.
21, Ankeny Centennial, 17.
21-17, Southeast Polk over Centennial. There's a battle going on there. And wing it out to the back, and he's hammered down.
Randall's pass is complete.
To Romdahl.
Boy, that was a collision out there. That was two defenders and two offensive players, and Romdahl right in the middle of all of it.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5.
Romdahl's 5'11", 190, though. He's compact. 2nd and 5 at the 44. They went out to the right side. Looking for room. He'll slide up, get the first down to the 36.
Randall's pass complete to Zach
Eaton on the catch.
I mean, Eaton's wide open over there. There was no defenders in the area. They were all playing back. no pressing up on the line or anything. So very easy throw and catch for Waukee.
1st and 10 at the 37. This time they throw it out wide to Odell. He's looking for room down inside to the 25. And Waukee just chewing up the clock here, and that's going to become a big factor. We're almost through the third quarter, although it seems like this third quarter's taking a long time.
Yeah.
But kind of puts it into when Urbandale gets it back, they're going to have to score whenever they get a possession, seems like now. There's a handoff. Lindquist down to the 20. Under a minute to play, third quarter.
Milwaukee at this point with the lead that they have, just going to continue to mix it up, but be content to keep it on the ground.
From the Jayhawks 20.
2nd and 5 at the 20. Looking now, throws it toward the end zone, and it's going to go a little wide there. He pump fake and then had him go.
On the play was Ty Cowley, number 30.
And he kind of threw it outside. The receiver was a little too far inside on that.
And he had to turn around, look over the other shoulder, and just could not get himself into position.
And the defender stayed right there on his hip. 35.5 seconds to play. The clock stopped here. That's to go in the third quarter.
3rd and 5 for the Warriors.
3rd and 5 at the 20 for the Warriors. Randall hands it off. Lindquist rumbling through, breaks a tackle, breaks another one, and rolls all the way down to the 7-yard line. Starting to see the size advantage that Waukee has take over here a little bit, Laura.
And just right up the middle again.
Brooke Heinen assisting.
Good inside running, and
The result of the play is another Waukee
gets him
first down.
first and goal.
1st and goal at the 7. Waukee, clock rolling, under 20 seconds to play in the third quarter. Handoff, Lindquist looking to take it outside, going to cut it up, touchdown!
He just waited for his blocking to get out in front of him, and very patient. Once they got there, they opened up the hole for him to get into the end zone.
Lindquist's second run of the quarter here. A 7-yarder to go with the 25-yarder he had earlier.
Gabe Jaden in to attempt the extra point.
And Jaden in to try the extra point. It's up, and it's good.
And the kick is good.
35-16. Waukee over Urbandale. We'll take a break, come back with the kickoff after this on CISN.TV.
The trade-in, trade-up event at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. Up to 12.5 off select new 18 Silverado Crew Cab LTs. Up to 6,000 off select new 18 Colorado ZR2s. Trade-in, trade-up in Waukee. Up to 19% off. Or choose $500 plus 0% for 72 months on new 19 Chevy Equinox LTs. Over 20% off. Or get $1,000 plus 0% for 72 on new 18 Chevy Trax. Trade-in, trade-up at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. Chevy, find new roads. WaukeeChevy.com.
We're back here at Waukee, 24-21, Valley over Ankeny, and another ball game going on, and Ankeny giving Valley all they can handle, and Waukee stretched out a little more breathing room here against Urbandale. That stop on that last drive was big, Laura, for the Warriors.
Yeah, it was, and that just gives them a little bit more confidence heading into, well, basically the end of the third quarter and the start of the fourth quarter.
8.1 ticks left here in the third. Here's the kick. Taken at the 20, up to the 29 and knocked down Economist. And it'll be 3.2 seconds to play.
Well, and the Jayhawks are probably going to be in a passing mode, knowing that they're down 35-16, 1 quarter left. And they've had success with the passing game.
Yeah, and they had a couple near misses there. They had the one long pass to Pattison, but the call back as he was called for offensive pass interference. So they'll send Garwood, Economist, and Pattison wide to the right side. And they'll hand it off. Try to get Whaley out there with some blocking. Cuts it up 35-40 and just gets tackled as he came across the 40 there. But probably the biggest gain there, Zach Eaton comes up to make the tackle for Waukee. But that'll be a pickup of 13. The last play of the third quarter will go to the fourth quarter. Urbandale with the ball trailing 35-16. That's coming up after this on CISN.TV.
For the ultimate one-of-a-kind game day experience, make a stop at the other place. The game is on and drinks are cold with game day specials for every fan. Serving Iowa's best pizza since 1970, it's the place for the whole family. With a mouth-watering menu and state-of-the-art audio-video system, make the OP one of the most exciting destinations for sporting events viewing. The other place, American Sports Grill and Pizzeria. Join in on this Iowa tradition, serving the Midwest since 1970.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Urbandale first and 10 at the 42 as we switch sides here to start the fourth quarter. And given to Whaley, and he just stops and falls down and nothing doing there. Upset in the brewing here is it's 21-17 Southeast Polk over Centennial with 55 seconds left to play. And that ball game would be Centennial's first loss of the season and a big win for the Rams.
That would be, I think, the biggest upset of the first round of the playoffs.
That'd throw the seeding into a little bit of a tizzy there.
But like you say, Southeast Polk was a team that was kind of an unknown coming into the playoff.
They lose 5. I know they had a good running back, good quarterback, who's just trying to get everything on track. Wing it out there and stopped again for a loss. Geez, Whaley. And, man, they're just keying in on Whaley. He cannot find any room at all when he gets the ball.
Yeah, anytime he touches the ball, whether it's on a handoff or a pass, screen, whatever, he's not getting any yards at all. It's usually 1 or 2 yards, and then they're just all over him.
Big third down now for Urbandale. Trailing here in the fourth quarter. They need points. Economist comes across, lobbed it outside. Oh, and he's hit. As the pass came, Whaley hit by Smith.
And, you know, Whaley turned around at the last second and saw that ball coming. And he hauled it in. But Smith put a lick on him.
But you know, it was just hitting him and knocking him away. It wasn't one of those, you know, you talk about the unprotected receiver, no targeting or nothing like that. Yeah, it was a good hit on him. And it just a bang, bang deal, and looks like he's going to come back out there. No, that's not him, but anyway, yeah, it was just one of those bang, bang plays. The ball got there. He was looking back, and he hit him and knocked him down. That's one of those where you think you get the air knocked out of you when you're not looking, you know.
And I think that's exactly, it was a little wheel out of the backfield and down the sideline, and he turned back at the last minute.
And he gets the punt off against pressure again, and the fair catch will be called for at the 29. See the moon kind of peeking through the clouds just a little bit up there. It's been a cloudy night.
Looks like a little bit of a Halloween mood.
Yeah.
Perfect time of the year for it. Now we got a flag on the field. It looks like it against Waukee, illegal block.
So that'll bring that back. This is 50 degrees, so really, I think it was like 52 at the start, so it hasn't really cooled off that much.
Result of the penalty, it'll be 1st and 10 Warriors.
If you're out there in the stands and you're bundled up, you're probably all right, but probably doing pretty good hot chocolate business tonight at the concession
I'm sure they
stand.
are.
Hand off up the middle, looking for room, pushing through behind his blockers. Makes a little something out of nothing there. Lindquist.
Riley Longlet made the stop for the Jayhawks, number 8.
And
4, 2nd and 6.
Riley Longlet on the stop. Here comes Espelin back in for Waukee. Fake the handoff. Randall keeps it himself. Breaks free. Up to 30, 35, 40. He's got a blocker ahead of him, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds at the 50. And for the first time tonight, we saw Mitch Randall break free. Hayden Fredrickson gets him down. But they've managed to bottle him up all night. That's his first big run.
Yeah, and he just was able to, he went up the middle, he was stopped, and then he kicked it outside, and he got some great downfield blocking from his teammates.
Down to the Urbandale 46, stops the clock with 9:35 to play in the ball game. Now we'll pitch it over to Espelin. Espelin gets a few yards before falling down, stays in bounds to keep the clock moving. And now time, the ally of Waukee.
And I'm not sure if you will see them throw another pass here in the fourth quarter.
Probably not.
And I'm sure just as we say that, they'll probably throw a pass here.
Throw it deep, but nope, they're hand off. Fake the pass, hand it off up the middle. And Lindquist gets the first down.
Kyle Bathke, number 26, on the stop for the Jayhawks. Result of the play, Waukee, first down.
So Waukee gets another first down.
Well, if you're Urbandale, you need to just really stack up the middle, knowing that they're going to run.
Yep. Now spins on the outside. That's Espelin. And maybe you get him inside, you hold him up, try to strip that ball out of there, but Lindquist seems to hang on to it pretty well, and he keeps the thing is, you're trying to hold him up, but he's still moving those legs and pushing you forward, getting yards.
That's the kind of back that you want to have in these situations, that just possesses the ball, takes good care of it, keeps the legs moving, and gets you positive yardage. 2nd
and 5. Hand off to Espelin. And there's a flag. Comes in. There's going to be, that'll probably come back. Holding called.
Holding against Waukee. Final score from Ankeny, big upset tonight. Southeast Polk 21, Ankeny Centennial 17.
21-17. Southeast Polk pulls off the upset over Centennial. The crowd cheers here.
That is a huge upset. Because Centennial was the number 1 in the RPI, were they not?
They were, yep.
Yeah.
And Southeast Polk was the number 16, the last team to get in.
That's the old 116 seed upset, which does not happen very often.
But again, they have some talent there, and the running back, quarterback, and saw them play Fort Dodge, and they lost a close one there. But here's Randall rolling out, throwing, and that'll be incomplete. Looking out there for Odell.
Well, if they don't pick this up here, you probably would either see the punt or maybe that quick kick by the quarterback that we saw in the first quarter. Let's see how much they pick up here on third down.
3rd and 18. Randall faking, looking. Now he's going to roll around, and I'm surprised that he ran out of bounds there.
Yeah, I am too.
That's probably, the coaches are probably telling him, you want to just slide down there. You know you're not going to get anything, and let the clock keep rolling.
Joe Matthew assisting on that stop. 4th down, Warriors.
So they'll talk it over before they send out the punt team, and they do with Alex Walsh.
Alex Walsh drops back in the punt formation for Waukee.
Didn't have enough men on the field. Had to bring out another blocker at the last second.
Lucas Strain back deep for Urbandale. And there's the flag. They ran into Walsh. And the ball goes out at the 1.
I don't know if it's going to be running or roughing.
Nice punt by Walsh.
Looks like running into the kicker.
Kicker, yeah.
Roughing the kicker, Urbandale.
Well, if it's 15, it'd still be 4th down. Be 4th and 3 because it was 4th and 18. Where that ball landed, you're almost better probably. Of course, 3 yards, you hand it off to Lindquist, and he might get it. And you keep the ball and keep the clock rolling. So a little bit of a decision to make here. The officials are trying to sort it out, too, as to where.
Talking to the Urbandale sideline.
We kind of waited a little bit before he threw that flag.
Yeah,
they came through and run into him, and then he waited and then finally threw it. Now they're coming over to talk to the Waukee coaches.
Well, if it's running into the kicker, it's only 5 yards.
5 yards,
but I'm not sure that's.
Well, it must be because he'd give the personal foul on the 15, so that was running into. Because the PA guy said it was roughing, but it must have only been 5 yards. So what's the sense of kicking it? Because it went out at the 1, so you got him pinned back there again.
Penalties declined. The punt is in play, so Urbandale begins this drive 1st and 10.
I don't know, kind of interesting. I almost think you may want to have them kick again. It might go in for a touchback, but they're backed up against their goal line here, so they're going to have to be careful.
And they're going to lob it out. Incomplete.
Intended for Will Patterson, number 81.
You got to be careful, too. You get holding in the end zone or intentional grounding in the end zone. That's a safety. So there's a lot of bad things that can happen when you're backed up there. It'll be 2nd and 10 at the 1. For the Jayhawks. 7:24 to play. The clock stopped on that incomplete pass. Throws, knocked away.
That pass is incomplete, knocked down by Cole Spikesma.
Cole Spikesma.
Boy, just got a hand on it in that linebacker position.
I think it was a little too far out there for him to pick 6 it,
Right.
But enough presence of mind to knock it away and bring up 3rd and 10.
For the Jayhawks on the Urbandale 1.
The 1. And they throw it out. Incomplete. Looking for Pattison. That would have been first down yardage, but
just went through his hands. He had to go up to get it. Nobody was really around him, and it just went right through his hands.
Fourth down.
So that brings up fourth down. And Jaden Harrell will have to punt out of his own end zone for Urbandale.
See if Waukee might come after this or just know that they're going to get good field position out of this punt. They only have one man deep, everybody on the line.
But everybody's tight. They might get a good return, too. And they do kind of come after it. Good kick. He lets it go. And it's going to bounce dead at the 49. The Iowa High School Athletic Association would like to take the opportunity to remind you that sportsmanship starts with you. Good sportsmanship means showing respect to student athletes, coaches, officials, schools, and those around you. Regardless of how an event is going, good sportsmanship shows character, accountability, and sets a positive example on and off the field. The IHSAA thanks you for being a good sport for tonight's game. And 1st and 10 at the 49, their own 49 for Waukee. Espelin looking to turn the corner, and he's not going to get it. His bevy of white shirts meets him.
Trying to strip the ball from him as well.
Yeah. And the clock's going to roll down. Continue rolling here at 6:40 and counting.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12.
Keeps it himself, breaks a tackle, cuts it up, and still going, and fumble, but no, they're going to say he's down. Randall, let's say he was down, he'll be just shy of the first down marker.
He just is so tough to bring down, and you just can't reach out and try to grab one angle. You got to wrap him up and get him to the ground.
Especially gets a head of steam going there, it seems like. 3rd and 1 at the 42. Hand off, and Espelin will get the first down.
Just falls forward. The momentum takes him to the first down. Max Carver had him around the middle, but couldn't keep him from getting that first down yardage.
Johnson up 28-14.
Valley 24, Ankeny 21.
Valley 24-21 over Ankeny. So Ankeny gave Valley all they could handle. There's a handoff reverse, back the other way with it. And he'll get a few yards, but then get knocked out. They give it to Espelin. Espelin gave it to Eaton. Espelin went left and Eaton came back right.
A little bit of slow developing, it seemed like. It just seemed like Espelin ran with it for a long time before he flipped it to Eaton.
I don't know if I'd waste with extra handoffs at this point in the game. You just keep handing it off. And looking is Randall. And now he's going to be dragged down. And here's a point, too, where you're leading. You don't want to get somebody hurt this late in the game if you're Waukee.
Right, you've been so strong up the middle with Lindquist and have been able to eat up a bunch of yardage.
As we go under 5 minutes now, too, eating up a bunch of the clock. 3rd and 6 at the 34.
3rd and 6 for the Warriors.
And now there's a handoff, and just right up the middle is Lindquist.
Number 49
It's going to be short of that first down, but they're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Yeah.
Keep the ball in their possession.
4th and 1.
About a yard to go.
Randall hands it off. And through the hole for the first down, and he'll be stopped, but We'll keep possession and keep rolling on that clock.
Jackson Bruno made the tackle, number 47. Short game, but it's enough for a Waukee first down.
They aren't in any hurry as they look to the sideline to get the play.
Do you see an Indianola Cedar Falls score up there? We'll have to look because that'll be the next person up here, or next team up. There's Randall keeps it himself. Gets down to the 21.
Randall, the quarterback on the carry, number 4.
Here comes Indianola 14, Cedar Falls 48.
48-14. So looks like a trip to the Dome, but not for the semifinals, for a quarterfinal matchup with Cedar Falls. As the Tigers will be undefeated.
7-4 for the Warriors.
Hand off, Lindquist, bust free, gonna try to turn the corner and gets tackled at the 11.
Just bounces it outside once he got up the middle and almost broke it for another touchdown.
When I got my start in college, I was interning at a radio station and covering Cedar Falls when I went to UNI. And that was the year they ran all the way and they won the title on a kick, a field goal in that game. So that was kind of fun. 3:08 to go here. We got a timeout. We'll take a break. Come back with more after this on CISN.TV.
Is this guy a contractor who does good work or a contractor who needs work? For a reliable recommendation, trust the Better Business Bureau, protecting consumers for over a century. When you go to bbb.org to check out a business, you'll learn if it's BBB accredited, see its grade on customer service, and read honest, useful reviews from local people. For online recommendations you can trust, start with trust at bbb.org/Iowa.
Here, Waukee. 3:08 to play. Waukee trying to grind down the rest of the clock here. 1st and 10 at the 11. As Urbandale took their shots. First play of the game. They run a halfback pass and went 80 yards for the touchdown to score. Waukee blocked the extra point. And then Waukee answered, and then Urbandale came right back as there's a handoff trying to cut up the middle. Waukee came back, took the 7-6 lead, then Urbandale came right back, scored again, and it was 13-7, but that was the last time that Urbandale led. They missed a 44-yard field goal that would have given them a 2-point lead. And then Waukee has kind of owned the second half here. They set the tone lower, coming right out to start the third quarter and took it down the field and scored, and pretty much that kind of did it for Waukee.
Well, and it helps to get the ball, and they deferred, and they got the ball to start the third quarter right after they'd scored right before half.
Right.
So they had the momentum, and so it set up perfectly for them to be able to get that ball to start the third quarter and then just methodically march it down.
Yeah, because Urbandale almost knew they needed to get a stop there, but Waukee just on the ground, and really mostly on the ground. Not a lot of, giving it to Lindquist and took it right down the field and scored. And then Urbandale's never been able to really get back in it as we go under 2 minutes to play here. And Waukee taking all the time they can. There's a handoff, and it'll be spun around and do-si-do and taken down. Lindquist. And you can tell there he just wants to run the clock out because he's been, if we were picking an MVP, he may be one of them for Waukee tonight, the way he's ran the ball between the tackles and just kept grinding out the yards when they needed it.
Yeah, he's certainly had a nice game, and, just was picking and choosing his openings and kept those legs driving, got some good blocking in front of him, and was able to grind up a bunch of yards.
Bring you this public service announcement from the Iowa High School Athletic Association. They need your help to add registered sports officials in the 2018-2019 school year. Officials are needed at all levels in all IHSAA-sanctioned sports. Officiating allows you to stay close to the game while serving as a community leader in action. In an Iowa high school and junior high school games, they can't take place without officials. Visit IAHSAA.org or highschoolofficials.com for more information. Help the IHSAA add one today and become a official for the sports. And Cedar Falls will host next Friday. And means you get to play in the warm dome over there, and
which is not a bad deal.
No, not a bad deal at all. And so Waukee comes out, 4th and 10 at the 11. And is he going to cut it up? Touchdown, I think. Is he in?
Yep. They run it, 4th and goal. And they get the, they pass it.
Yeah, Zach Eaton with the 11-yard touchdown catch.
And a little bit of a surprise. You kind of think that you'd keep it on the ground, and you're gonna, if you don't make it, you're gonna turn it over on downs. But they went for the score.
And Kate Jaden in for the extra point. Up and good.
And the kick by Jaden is good. That makes the score Waukee 42, Urbandale 16.
42-16. Waukee over Urbandale.
And we've got a player down for Urbandale. And I think maybe just cramping. It looks like they're trying to stretch him out.
Well, they're going to, Urbandale will end up 6-4 here, but we talked about it. They lost J.D. Colby, their senior quarterback, and they lost Cole Secor, senior running back, early on in the season. And, you know, a lot of times you lose a couple key players on offense like that, and, you know, your season kind of goes to heck. But they pulled it together here. And, you know, Langenberg come back, and Whaley and them, they, you know, going to 6-3 and making the playoffs is not bad after having that happen to you.
No, and they've got some good experience now under their belt, and those players coming back, and so a bright future for Urbandale.
Yeah, lose Will Pattison, their big receiver. He'll graduate, but you know, we got Langenberg coming back, right? He's a junior,
yep.
And Whaley's just a junior, so. You know, we'll have some weapons coming back here also on offense.
But as you say, Pattison senior, Garwood a senior, so some big receivers are going to lose.
3 offensive linemen there: Drake Page, Tanner Kelleher, and Anthony Berry. The seniors will lose. Alex Economos, kind of the Mr. Everyman there,
yeah.
Kicker, a receiver, a runner for him. They'll lose, but you know, some things to build on. Sam Anderson with that program. There's a little squibber here. Picked up. And looking for room, and he'll be dropped, is Brooke Heinen.
Kickoff is picked up and returned by Brooke Heinen, number 22 for the Jayhawks.
I think Heinen was just kind of waiting to see if everybody would just maybe relax a little bit, and then he was going to try to take it up the sidelines, go to the outside, and try to take it down the sideline.
From the Urbandale 19.
1st and 10 at the 19. 1:20 to play here, with Urbandale trailing 42-16. Wings it out. That's Garwood, I think, over there.
Pass is complete.
Yep.
To number 87.
They're going to keep working the sidelines, and Waukee's going to continue to play deep, so they're going to give that up and allow them to get 10 yards a pop.
Dropping back, wing it out there, and stop and go looking for some room, but flag down.
Going to get a hold on Economist.
Yeah.
He had too much jersey out there as he was trying to block.
Simon Lofsgaard, number 15. Ethan Wiersma, number 38, defending on that play. Holding against Urbandale.
So holding, 1:08 to play. We appreciate everyone who's watched tonight. Our first ever playoff broadcast here on CISN.TV. And keep watching. We'll pick up a couple of the games as we move ahead. And then we thank again our sponsors tonight as you throw that up ahead. Mid-American Energy, our 100% renewable vision at Mid-American Energy. The other place serving the best pizza since 1970. The other place, Schottenkirk Chevrolet. If it's not the power price, it's not the lowest price. Schottenkirk Chevrolet, the Better Business Bureau recommendations you can trust. Deep jump ball, and it's going to go through there. Looking for Lucas Strain downfield, but that'll go incomplete with 27.6 seconds to play. And for these Waukee Warriors, I think a big game for them. They lost that late game to Valley by a point, but they didn't let things fall apart after that, Laura. It was a close game that they lost, and they came back and ended up
3rd and 7 from the Urbandale 33.
After that loss, they won their next 5 games, and that was one of those. Here's the pass going out deep, and that'll fall incomplete and stop the clock. But you have kind of a close game like that where you lose it, and that's where you kind of sometimes those losses where you test yourself and they turn back around, come back. Then at the end of the season, when they needed a game, they get the 1-point win over Johnston. So you got to credit Scott Carlson, the coaching job they did, and the resiliency of the Waukee Warriors to turn it around and get in the playoffs here, and they're going to win this first-round game.
And they knew they had a tough schedule coming into this season. They'd lost some key players to graduation to start the season, so they weren't really sure what this team makeup was going to be. And you're right. I mean, you look back at the schedule and you look back at that loss to Valley. They were in control most of that game.
And all the way up, Lucas Strain
Ty Langenberg's pass is complete to Lucas Strain.
catches it and gets it down to the 34 with 12.6 seconds to play. Yeah, they opened up with Dowling, the 5-time defending champion. They opened the season and then won the next 2, and then lost that 1-point game to Valley, but then turned it around and won the next 5, and now they're going to win 6 in a row here as they'll advance and play Cedar Falls. And there's the snap. Dropping back, throwing toward the end zone over the head, so that'll give us at least one more play. So they got to feel like, they played Valley a 1-point game. They came back. They beat a good Johnson team. They got to feel like they can play with almost anybody now, and they probably go over to Cedar Falls with some good confidence over there.
Well, especially coming off of last week's victory over Johnston, this one, they kind of took a shot to the mouth.
Yeah.
They took a punch right away to start this ball game, and they never fell back on their heels. They came right back on offense and were able to answer, and so that tells you that there's this is a good team that has a lot of confidence, and we get down at times, but able to fight back with the strong offense that they have.
So they're going to hand it off and looking for room, And out of bounds, and there's a flag as Whaley was out and they kind of pulled him down.
I think they're going to get unsportsmanlike or unnecessary roughness.
Yeah, Mason Seyfried, they kind of got him to the sideline and then pulled him down. It wasn't real rough, but he was out of bounds, so that'll add 15 onto it. And with 1.2 seconds to go, Urbandale will have it down at the
right at the 15.
Personal foul against Waukee. Result of the penalty.
So we'll see if they get one more attempt, throw to the end zone, or what they'll do here. And they're going to lob it over there. Touchdown, Urbandale.
We had a great throw to
Will Pattison.
Back corner, and Pattison goes up and is able to haul that in. He went up amongst two defenders, and I think that height of his helped him to be able to go up and high point that ball and pull it in.
Well, a little fitting. He started out the scoring here with an 80-yard touchdown. And that'll do it. They're not going to kick the extra point. So it'll be 42-22. Waukee will move on, and Urbandale will finish the season. And we'll take a break. We'll come back and wrap this one up here on CISN.TV.
The trade-in, trade-up event at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. Up to 12.5 off select new 18 Silverado Crew Cab LTs. Up to 6,000 off select new 18 Colorado ZR2s. Trade-in, trade-up in Waukee. Up to 19% off, or choose $500 plus 0% for 72 months on new 19 Chevy Equinox LTs. Over 20% off, or get $1,000 plus 0% for 72 on new 18 Chevy Trax. Trade-in, trade-up at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. Chevy, find new roads. WaukeeChevy.com.
For the ultimate one-of-a-kind game day experience, make a stop at the other place. The game is on and drinks are cold with game day specials for every fan. Serving Iowa's best pizza since 1970, it's the place for the whole family. With a mouth-watering menu and state-of-the-art audio-video system, make the OP one of the most exciting destinations for sporting events viewing. The other place, American Sports Grill and Pizzeria. Join in on this Iowa tradition, serving the Midwest since 1970.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise, and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Is this guy a contractor who does good work or a contractor who needs work? For a reliable recommendation, trust the Better Business Bureau, protecting consumers for over a century. When you go to bbb.org to check out a business, you'll learn if it's BBB accredited, see its grade on customer service, and read honest, useful reviews from local people. For online recommendations you can trust, start with trust at bbb.org/Iowa.
Sorry, okay, we're back here. They're giving the trophies you see out there to Urbandale for making it into the playoffs. Star Danielson, Laura Leonard here. The final 42-22. Waukee downs Urbandale, but Urbandale came out slugging in this one in the first quarter, very first play. Got the ball on the 20, and they got it out to the running back. He pulled up and threw downfield to Will Pattison. Pattison took it, cut across the field right to left, and went in from 80 yards out for the touchdown. Waukee blocked the extra point. It was 6-0 Urbandale. Waukee came back 8:01 to play. Sam Odell got a 4-yard catch, and the PAT was good by Kate Jaden. That made it 7-6. I think that was after the onside kick. Waukee went down and scored. Urbandale onside kicked it, trying to get it right back after the score. But then Urbandale came back, 4:40 to go in the first quarter. A run by Whaley, a 1-yard run after the drive, and that put them up 13-7 with the PAT. Still in the first quarter, 1:51 to play. Sam Odell with the 16-yard touchdown catch from Randall, and the PAT was good. That made it 14-13. So we had 27 points scored in that first quarter, and we were thinking, man, a wild one there. But then we didn't get our next score till 21.3 seconds to go in the second quarter, and Waukee took it with about 2:40 to play in the first half and drove it down, and Randall got the 4-yard run. The point was after was good, and it was 21-13. Then into the third quarter, Lindquist had a 25-yard run. That made it 28-13 with the extra point. Urbandale got a 30-yard Alex Economos field goal to make it 28-16 with 6:31 to go in the third. Lindquist got another run from 7 yards out with 8.1 to go in the third, made it 35-16. Then all the scoring in the fourth was Zach Eaton, 11-yard touchdown catch, made it 42-16. And then with no time left on the clock, Urbandale, after a penalty, threw it to Will Pattison in the end zone, 15 yards out. He caught it. They didn't attempt the extra point. And the final here, 42-22. So, again, Urbandale came out slugging, gave him a go early, but credit Waukee, they hung in there and weathered that and came back to get the win.
You know, I think we saw that, and then the scores from all the games tonight, that the lower seeds really came out and played very hard, at least for a half. There was one upset tonight, but all the higher seeds then came through in the second half, and that's what Waukee did here tonight, was able to withstand I think the barrage of surprises that Urbandale was throwing at them, and kind of got them back on their heels just a little bit, but they were able to band together and got that offense going, and that defense played very, very well again.
Okay, we're going to take one final break. We'll come back and wrap this up here. 42-22, Waukee over Urbandale. Back with the final comments after this on CISN.TV.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us. Or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we've got it all.
Building a strong community doesn't happen overnight. It takes a vision for the future, the ability to turn a challenge into a success, and individuals who inspire new generations of growth. Greater Des Moines has done a lot of growing over the years, and so have we. At Brick Gentry Law, your success is something that we create together. Thank you for making us a part of your community. Thank you for 50 years.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Here at Waukee, the final 42-22, Waukee advances. Now it's a drive up the interstate, hit Highway 20 and over to Cedar Falls. Not a bad little drive, driven it many times. Got a daughter going over to UNI, so it's a quick trip, Laura, for these fans. They're happy. Urbandale, a good season for them. They'll have to put away the pads and get ready for basketball and wrestling, but they can't be too disappointed with the season that they've had, 6-4 and back in the playoffs again.
Yeah, I think they're very happy that they made the playoffs. They had those injuries that we talked about during the game, and were able to get some good play from their replacements. They stepped up big and got them into the playoffs, and so they have something to build on for next year. So the future's bright for Urbandale. They can't hang their heads, able to get into the playoffs and make a really good showing. And we were thinking upset right away in this ball game after that first play when Urbandale got on the board. So,
well, for some reason we found every time this year we come over here to Waukee Stadium, we never know what we're going to get. It's been a wild season here, but it's been fun.
It has been fun, and you know, I think the thing that we've seen too is this Waukee team has progressed and grown each and every game that we've seen them play. And so, they'll give Cedar Falls all they want next game. All
right. Thanks to Anna on the controls. Connor, great work on the camera tonight for us and throughout the season here on CISN.TV. Be watching our website for more on the upcoming games that we'll have here in the high school football playoffs. That's going to wrap it up here from Waukee, 42-22 over Urbandale tonight on CISN.TV.
The trade-in, trade-up event at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. Up to 12.5 off select new 18 Silverado Crew Cab LTs. Up to 6,000 off select new 18 Colorado ZR2s. Trade-in, trade-up in Waukee. Up to 19% off. Or choose $500 plus 0% for 72 months on new 19 Chevy Equinox LTs. Over 20% off. Or get $1,000 plus 0% for 72 on new 18 Chevy Trax. Trade-in, trade-up at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. Chevy, find new roads. WaukeeChevy.com.
For the ultimate one-of-a-kind game day experience, make a stop at the other place. The game is on and drinks are cold with game day specials for every fan. Serving Iowa's best pizza since 1970, it's the place for the whole family. With a mouth-watering menu and state-of-the-art audio-video system, make the OP one of the most exciting destinations for sporting events viewing. The other place, American Sports Grill and Pizzeria. Join in on this Iowa tradition, serving the Midwest since 1970.